We are live.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Commander Talkings.
I think I'm making a Trill joke.
Don't know if I could
Don't know
do
what.
the Trill joke.
Yeah, put you in a hard position there. Like, make a Trill joke based on saying hi. What does that even mean? Don't know. Maybe we should make Trill names for
Uh,
ourselves.
Welcome, everyone. We're back to talk about episode 4 of season 3.
Yes, hopefully.
This one's called. He cut me off again.
Well,
It's called Forget Me Not. Anyway, continue.
and hopefully you all watched our review earlier today.
If you didn't, shame on you. Go watch it.
Yeah. Forget Me Not, good title. I think the titles this year have been better overall. Not that I'm always focused on titles, but I think have been better titles this year. I was saying earlier that I think, unlike the other seasons, this season is going to benefit from each episode feels distinct. You have the Crash one, the Burnham one, the Earth one, the Trill one. Like, how do you describe?
So far, yeah.
How would you describe season? Like in season 1, it's the pilot 2, the Glen one, the Mud one, the Mirror ones, the Trump one, where he says, you know, make Empire great again, and the end one, the bomb one. Like, okay, well, it's not really. I saw definitely met on the Cabo, Covey, Kinu, what's that planet called? Parvo. There you go. Okay, so I named most of them, but still, you know what I mean. The Mirror ones don't.
You might remember more than I did. I don't remember much season 1. But now that you've recapped it, it's like, oh yeah, I remember all those now. Okay, good.
Yeah, it seems like
So, when you said season 1, I was like, what the fuck happened in season 1? No Pike. That's what happened. We already have a first super chat, which is great. Joshua Clark threw in $10, which is amazing. Thank you, Joshua. I cannot contain my excitement. I think the Discovery is finally starting to have a Trek feel to it. Character development is on point in this season. The scene in the caves was breathtaking. Yeah, the Trill caves looked really good, and they looked like they did in DS9. So.
Oh, did we see him in DS9?
Yeah, Jadzia has to go into them.
Oh, which episode was that?
She even wore the same gown. She even laid back and had the. I'm trying to remember the episode.
I mean, there's so many one-offs of DS9 that I just don't, you know. Oh yeah. Oh, it is very similar. I mean, it should be. It's the same caves. Like.
Yes.
You know, of course it would be the same. Because I was researching the Trill for an episode we're actually going to film on Monday. Equilibrium. Okay, let me have a look, because that will give me slightly more respect for it. But isn't it sad, though? We used to expect Discovery to change everything just because, and now the fact they did something correct, it's like, I'm surprised. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice, though, Culber at the start is using a TOS-esque scanner, which I'm pretty sure has not been a thing before.
That was cool. Yeah, it was just the exact same little swirly things inside. It was modernized.
Yeah.
But it looked. Yeah, it was really
like
great.
That's not been in it before, has it? Surely we would have noticed it in 3 years because it looked great.
You would have expected Discovery to do like a CGI effect there, but it's just the practical works so well for that little scanner thing.
And it was just the same exact thing, but a bit modernized. It was a really good, efficient thing.
And I would like one. I would like a little prop of that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I was surprised how good it looked. Yeah, that is a similar, which is funny because of these cave sets in DS9 were handovers from TNG. It's the cave sets. It's funny they actually used a cave as a cave.
Yeah.
Oh, in the little emitter. Oh, see, I remember the emitter thing. Julian's like, hey guy, we're here to do a thing. He's like, what? Oh, hey, who the hell are you? Oh, you're Dax. Okay, cool.
Squadra Course throws in $2.
Dang.
Yay! Impressed they didn't change the Trill caves. Yeah, I was kind of shocked actually. But you know, it is what it is.
As we always say, call out the good and bad. So that is a good, and more so that I know they didn't change it.
That's an awesome. Good job, guys.
I mean, and obviously the makeup. I mean, the Trills looked great. I mean, there's no complaints in terms of the Trills themselves. I've nothing but good job for the Trills, and I even think how they differentiate the 3 like paths of the government. I have no complaint against. So yeah, you know, different people doing different things. Sure thing. Where's his gown? Oh, yeah, it's the same gown. Yeah, or at least close enough. And there is
Yeah,
lightning.
absolutely.
There is literally lightning in the
Yep.
pond. Okay.
And it's like the milky white water. Yeah, it's the same stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
less visually interesting in DS9, but they had a lot less money.
Less visually interesting, but they had Dax, and the gown was more
See-through.
closer to. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, she's wearing like a crop top, but she's wearing like an under. Anyway, hello, welcome to DS9 season 3, episode 4, Equilibrium. I have not seen an episode in so long. No, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll start sharing, and then we can give our first initial hey-hos.
You start sharing. Yes. So guys, thank you for showing up. 100 people watching with 51 likes. That is great. We can do better than that. We can get 75 likes though. So let's hit that like button if you haven't already done so. And don't forget, super chats and chatting is a great way to support the channel and get your voice heard. And we love reading your super chats. We have to read them on air. So your theory, your idea, your question, you can make us say anything you want us to say. So you can get a little sound clip, I guess. So you can consider it that way. It's a fun little thing to do. Plus, we do read them all out, unlike other channels that don't necessarily read them all. So we like you guys to be part of the community, and it's really important to us. So please consider doing that. Other ways to help us, you can join us on Patreon/Trekyards, or just join the channel at the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, and now Federation President. We currently have 2 Federation Presidents, Livia Julius and Mark Lawrence, and that makes a huge difference to the channel as well. So if you can help out in any of those ways, please consider doing so. If you do want to send a PayPal, you can do that as well. You just send it to trekyards@hotmail.com, and just let us know in the chat that you've actually sent a PayPal, and we'll read the comment, question, whatever, via the email from PayPal once we get that notification that you sent one. So and also making sure you're subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video. Those kind of things are all important. Also setting the bell notification icon to all. That's also super important. So if you can do that, please do. We also have our Teespring store and a few other goodies down in the description of every video for you to check out that help you out and help us out at the same time. So if you can, please do. And we'll get into this discussion talking about this episode very soon. So and we'll read the 2 super chats that came in as soon as Samuel gets back. But yes. Sorry, I had a message there. So if you can, please consider doing that. It does help us out. We do make all this content for free for you guys to enjoy and watch. And if we can get some support to keep doing it, we would definitely love to, because we love this kind of thing. We love you guys. We love Star Trek. We just love talking about it. So, and creating a fun environment for other people that might not have anybody to talk about Star Trek to come and join us and chat. So
one of us. One of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dennis Williams, $5.
Thank you.
Do you think those service bots were replacing the hull plating with some new alloy they got from Earth, or just doing basic repairs? I thought the same thing. I hope they're doing some kind of technical upgrades, because that would make sense. A lot of people are just convinced it's repairing damage from the landing that Detmer did, and I mean that could be the case still. But yeah, I hope they're doing some kind of upgrades, personally.
I didn't get that sense at all. I thought they were just repairing the hull scoring that was caused by the Earth torpedoes last week, because that's why they were just doing the top in the saucer. I think I think we'll see upgrades when they find the Federation again. I think then we'll get to see the ship be different, but they won't commit to that until we get there. But yeah, credit to them. Fixing it again, although using the robots, which I wish they need a throwaway line where it says, "I'm so glad Pike gave us those before the battle with Leland," because they never had them.
Yeah.
And Retcon had repair robots every thing, which also means that they it's lame. But if
Yeah.
Because remember, Enterprise has dedicated hatch systems to come out of. Discovery doesn't. So where are they coming from? Do they have to literally come out of the shuttle bay each time and fly all around the ship? Because they were designed for the Enterprise. They weren't, as in, they have dedicated things.
Yeah. Hawk 28574 puts in $5. Here, take my money. Thank you. We will. We appreciate that.
We will take all of it. Would you like to write us a check? Oh, does it just mean that? Oh, okay.
Northern Dawn, £1. Thank you, Northern Dawn. It means a lot. Lapiridon says 2 presidents because you're still counting the votes too. Winky face. Yes, that's why we have 2 Federation presidents joining the channel right now. But no, you guys can also become the president of the Federation. Check out the perks for joining. So
easy selection cycle ever. You just commit to a thing,
yeah.
and then woof, and then we are thrilled. You know. Yeah.
Ensign Ricky puts in $5.
Thanks.
What's up, Cap? What's up, Sam?
Hey.
In my opinion,
oh,
this is probably the best episode of Discovery has ever produced. I can actually say that I like this episode 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Well, there you go.
No, last week still beats this. Last week had more interesting story for me, and I think for Stuart as well. Had more interesting story developments, character developments, and pace. This one was like a pause again.
Yeah.
It's like first episode was momentum-y filled. Second one was pause. Third was momentum-y filled. This one's pause again. So it's kind of like leapfrogging, like more story, more character, more story, more character as they go. Which actually kind of is an interesting balance. Actually, next week it's certainly be like story filled. Then we'll pause again.
Yeah, you need to listen to our review because Ensign Ricky, you might notice a few things that. Well, here are thoughts on some things that you might not have noticed. So.
And it's nice that they had to like 7 minutes out to really make it really like the best of and compressed and compact and well edited, etc.
Yeah. Fleetpaw Swiftback $5. We hit 50 in less than 10 and are halfway to 100. Heck yeah, let's get there. Hashtag make Fleetpaw pay. We're at 76 now, to be fair, so that's awesome. 14 more.
I feel like we need 100 likes, like right now. Like we're 76. I feel like we just need 100. Vote with your
23.
Like. Count the votes.
23 more likes. Yeah. 147 of you here. There's 23 of you that haven't hit like for sure. So just hit that like button.
Vote with your like. We want 100% vote.
Ozzy Madero's $5. You also have 2 Fleet Admirals from Fleet Admiral Skeleton Hands. Okie dokie. Yes, I think we actually have 3 Fleet Admirals. I don't know who the third one is. But when I checked yesterday after the live, we were at 2 Federation presidents and 3 Fleet Admirals. So
I'm so ill ranked in this ship. Like I'm just it's pitiful, really. We need ensigns so I can boss around.
Yeah. BJ Turon $5. Burnham on vital mission. Crew takes a day off. Well, there should be no threat really. Down on Trill, so and
there wasn't really like they let them go. They never. The threat was minimal.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Brian Harvard $5. I feel that Dr. Culber should have gone down to the planet instead of Michael. I think it was a missed opportunity to feature Dr. Culber more. We totally agree with you. Actually, I think it would have been fine for Burnham and him to go down, considering they've both had these what's he say? Dying. Time travel and living a year in a different time where you think everybody's dead or you might never see them again, and he died. So I mean they both have
and was tortured in the mycelial world for like 6 months. Yes,
absolutely. So I think it would have been better for them both to go, not just one or the other. So
that said, though, if you had moved his scenes to just the planet, in which case you would have had to pad the planet more, which you did not need, you would have had his scenes on the ship, which were important. So it made more sense for him to be down there, but Burnham, like if Burnham was lecturing Saru about being a good crew member, that would have been even worse. So the way they played it, it has to be the way it is. But in a perfect world, they'd both be down the planet. But certainly some logic there.
Yeah. John Ford, $5. It is possible that the information with Riker joining was lost or even suppressed. The ones who helped might have heard a rumor about it. Yeah, that's what I said. The data about that could have been lost. It's 900 years you're looking at. I mean, a lot can happen, especially after the burn. But yeah, you think Trill would have been notified at some point that was attempted at least.
I mean, we'll get there. But I'll save my comment because I have a pro and a con for that, having rewatched it a few minutes ago. So I have pro and con there. And Alex says the reason the Doctor wanted Burnham to go was for her own treatment as well. Yeah. Maybe.
I'd buy that. Yeah, absolutely.
Force to be part of a team and have connections with the crew. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because his whole job, this whole episode, was taking care of the crew. Because it starts with a medical log, which we should just get into. Because actually, the first shot.
Well, we haven't said what we think yet.
Starf.
We haven't done the preamble yet. Sure. Finish super chats. We'll do the preamble. I haven't got that yet.
I am finished the super chats.
Oh, okay, great. So, Sid, what do you think of this episode then, episode 4?
Not bad. I mean, it did feel Star Trek, but I think there was the A, B, and C storylines, because there are 3, kind of. I think the C one is the most interesting, but had least amount of time. B was pretty good, a lot of character development. And the A plot, I think, felt very padded and very long-winded, and could have been chopped down considerably.
And just for the audience, which one would you consider each? Just for the audience.
Well, the Trill and the symbiote thing down the planet is the A plot, obviously. The B plot is the dinner and the Stamets and Tilly and Detmer issue.
The crew. The rest of the cast is the B plot.
And C is the ship, the sphere data and the computer kind of going back and forth. And, so that was the most interesting to me. But so I think overall it's a good episode. I just think it could have been trimmed down a bit and definitely maybe re-edited. To make it a little bit shorter, but character development's not too bad. I mean, we got more of some of the main characters or the secondary characters. I mean, a little bit. Detmer's kind of felt forced, and I think it's going to be forgotten about very quickly. And I wish we would have seen more of Bryce and the other guy. That's all I have to say about that. So it was a good episode, but not upper tier as far as season 3 goes. Wow. Actually, hold on. There's only been 4 episodes.
Without going out of this, would you say would this beat every episode in season 1? Where would this fall in season 1? Do you think?
Not every episode. I'm sure there's one that I really liked in season 1, but yes, on average, I would consider this one better than most of season 1.
Okay. Yeah. So for
the writing's a lot better for sure.
Yeah, the writing is which you just notice instantly. And again, if we go back and watch season 1, it'll be a stark contrast of God. These writers just didn't know what they're doing, and it's not even the characters; it's just the stories and the plot. Like it's everything put together that was flawed. Same characters, different writers make a difference though. If you reset the characters, they improve. So for me, this episode is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum. I think it had the Picard uniform and that whole moment was that payoff that worked, that was strong. You needed something really strong. That was strong. The computer thing was good.
Kudos to you for calling that last week. I said they wouldn't do it. You thought you were hoping they would. So
I think I'm just getting better at calling everything that they do, both low decks and I'm working out. I think that their brainwaves are getting more like where we would go as fans rather than where the hell are we going. I wouldn't do baby heads, I wouldn't. Anyway, so I like this one. I think it's definitely better than most of Discovery. The writing is definitely better. The Burnham character is a ton better. She's actually good to watch now. That's never been the case. She was either passive or bad. She's fine in every scene and good in some. The fact that she's always smiling, she's interacting. Unlike I would love to do a hard cut with season 1. It's not the same character. I mean, the scene where she's walking through the corridor with Adira.
Yeah, Adira. Yeah.
And she's just smiling to herself because she knows what's going to happen. The original Mo Burnham would just be stoic and walk, and then she'd come up, and then she'd be mean to her for some reason. It's so different, and it's so refreshing. The Saru character is, again, just being captainy, but he's being positive. The Doctor's positive. There's more positivity in the show, and it's really infectious. The second crew gets some stuff, although when you realise that still Bryce or... I don't know if Bryce or is a Chinese guy or a black guy. I can't remember which one. The fact that they weren't given anything.
Bryce is the black guy.
Okay, thank you. The fact that they weren't given anything except a fist bump still show you don't need as much of this, and this. Detmer is not by herself more interesting than those guys. That dinner was a strength and also a weakness. It needed to be more of them all interacting and getting a sense of them all. They almost had it. They missed the ball a bit to focus on some odd stuff. But Tilly was pretty good. Stamets was annoying but pretty good because that's who he is. So it was a pretty enjoyable episode. I liked it. It was an episodic, singular, positive episode. Didn't break canon, which is unusual. It respected Trill. It still painted them as decent people that could be, and they, at the end being our population. There's so many little bits of good that, apart from if they didn't have that, like I say, the meeting of the ex-hosts. That was the icing on the cake. Although it should have been more uniform. I think that would have been useful, just for also aging the Trill more. But yeah, side note. it was a refreshingly good again. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just get into it.
Alrighty.
Like I said, the first shot reminded me of playing Starfleet Battles. You got the map, you got the little hex thing with the top view of the ship, and I swear to God, those engines look different to me. They don't look as chopsticky and narrow and slim at the back, and they also don't look as long. I don't care what they're doing. I just love that they're doing it because it looks more Starfleet.
It's funny because I was gonna say they look just as awkward. I was just thinking, ugh.
Nah, I think they look better. They look thicker.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And you got this weird shot of the I like the fact the repairs happening, but I don't like the fact that the hull is now officially comprised of hundreds of singular plates. That's not how the hulls look. Why are there hundreds of... I know they just want to do really close detail, but... Or are they trying to tell us that the thing was so damaged they had to fix it with hundreds of small plates? Like, it looks so unreal, you know? And there's a lot of them repairing it. Yeah, like, I like what they're doing, but that hull looks... I mean, why are there that many grooves? Like, there's no function here. It's just we need to add detail. Okay, what we'll do, just panel lines. That's not... It's so unrealistic. It's you know... But whatever.
Well, still not understanding Star Trek because we know that the smooth hull is, something that's important to. Well, it is in TOS anyway. To Matt Jeffries.
Because the E has painted Aztecing. It hasn't got thousands of little lines. Doesn't matter how close you get. It doesn't. Like that's not. It's just clean metal. It's brushed metal anyway. But then you have a tremendous voiceover, and probably one of the best cold opens in Discovery history. I think it's actually better on second watch, just because you can enjoy it more. Really shows this actor doing a good job. Although having met the guy, he's just acting like himself. He's not really the character is just him, really, which is fine. He's good, and he's scanning people, saying hey to everybody, doing a check around, and you can see the TOS prop, super faithful, beautiful looking prop. Yeah.
I'm just saying that everybody feels disconnected and lost, and which I love. You called that too. That the crew would eventually why'd we do this? So I think that's great because it's exactly what would happen. Sure, they're all gung-ho to do the mission, save the universe, and then once reality kicks in, it's like, oh shit, we're removed from our families, our time. And I love how it's even said, if the ship disappeared tomorrow, nobody would miss us, nobody would care.
That's a great line.
We need to feel connected.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a good opening as far as the medical log goes, and I really appreciated that because that's one thing we've been missing is logs.
Yeah,
they've been building up. They've been getting better with it, but season one totally devoid of them pretty much.
Well, basically they've been reintroducing Star Trek elements every season, and this season has lots of them, from captain's logs, commander's logs, any logs to cutaway to ship between scenes, simple things at work. My only complaint about this whole idea of the medical thing is that it's all about this crew needs something positive to look forward to today. It's not so much focused on what have we left behind. Even that would be the thing everyone's concerned about. It's not, I haven't got a purpose now. It's, I've left my mother, my father, all of my cousins, my wife, my ex-boyfriend, my cat. They do not address that properly. They had an earlier episode, but they look at the wrong element of the problem. At least they address the crew, but that's not what you would do in the situation, and it's missing the point. I guess they don't care about the part. They don't care about any of their lives. But at least you feel the crew is tense, but it's just not the right sort of tense. But at least it's there, so I'm kind of it's half what we need. So at least they tried. They just missed the point a little bit. But it's still effective for what it is trying to be. You just need more of it over next week.
I like where he says, they'd have to admit that they need help first, because when he's talking to Detmer, so
yeah, good thing, all the things, and we get to see the Trill lady, and we get to see the symbiote, which is a relatively good reproduction, close enough to TNG. It's way bigger than in TNG, although she is smaller. So I guess it makes sense.
It could be an older Trill too. We know it's been around for a while, so
although not, because as a symbiote hosts. It both could and couldn't be older. We don't know. And there he goes.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Nothing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she says, if you wake up with something like this and you do your homework too, she doesn't remember how she got the symbiote, which is important later, obviously. But yeah, so their suggestion is to go to Trill. And I hate that they're calling it a squid, and even Burnham corrected herself. Well, if it is your squid, it's like, really? Wow. Okay.
I'm fine, since she's not gonna say that next week. Like, this character is now gone. She's now a Trill host. So she's not gonna. But I mean, she's a kid. She's 17. She's only been memories of a year. Like, this is a fresh personality. She's like, how do I? So I was fine for that for this scene. I like the Doctor saying, well, we can go into your brain. She's like, nope. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
Some
Bad
nice
idea. Yeah.
And Alyssa Joko says, it's hard to feel sorry for the crew. They did have a choice. Oh yeah, I don't feel sorry for the crew, because half of them shouldn't have gone with them. Like, there's why is this doctor? Why is the head of medical with them? She's in 4 episodes. Why does she care? Why does she love Burnham so much? She's gonna lose everything. Doesn't make sense. And speaking of, why is Culber always the one doing the doctory things when the head of medical is next to you? You were dead for a year, out of Starfleet for a year. You weren't even in service until the last episode of last season. She outranks you in every way. She's also older and more experienced. Why are you always doctoring? The head of medical should be doctoring. Don't include her and ignore her, or have her be important. You can't do both. You know what I mean? It's like, where's chief engineer? I guess they didn't come with him. I don't know. Just a bit weird that she's there with no real point.
So then they spore jump into Trill, and no sign of energy signatures at all. They just decide to say yellow alert, and then they get hailed from the planet. And it's what is it? Trill Commissioner Voss comes on board, and he's like, "Oh, a Federation ship, a Starfleet ship. I haven't seen one of these in a long time.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Of course you're welcome here." Because they find out that, yes, they have a symbiote and a host on board that need medical attention. We need help. So. And
Grid Cube, yes, she is the chief medical officer. That's already been established. She's their chief medical officer. I love the tone of this guy. Again, this is one of those things I need to see. The Federation didn't let people down. There isn't animosity. The universe isn't destroyed. They just disappeared one day. It's not that it's not that negative. It's not that sort of vibe. And I think everyone accepts the Federation couldn't exist in its own way because no one had ships. They don't blame them. So I like the connection here, and the fact that he's like, hey, oh wow, Starfleet, that's really cool. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe going in. It's exactly what you'd want to see. We don't need to see a corruption. We don't need to see broken people. It's just, this is just a world that used to be a friend that we saw and said, hey, good stuff.
Yeah. Ensign Ricky, $2. Thank God they put the burn on the back burner.
Yeah.
Then we get the scene where Sarah's like, Stamets, you're doing a good job, I know, but in case something happens to you, we need another way to spore jump this ship, as this is more important than ever now. We don't want to be stuck with the limitations of other ships in the area.
Well, the galaxy
or in this era, and Stamets is a little bit not in the best of moods. And Tilly suggests, the dark matter idea, working something up, and he kind of snaps at her a little bit. So it's got a little bit of tension there. And yeah, I get it. Their nerves are fried. Everybody's on edge.
Yeah.
But, it was all right. It pays off in the end, I guess. The whole discussion later, but
it's a scene.
This makes a lot more sense than the Detmer thing later. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is not out of nowhere. It's just, I think this scene's good because Saru's good here. This is a logical thing to ask. Although you would assume, I was assuming he would just say, "Can we have another volunteer take the spore thing?" Because there's no repercussions. It's a completely I know they said we can't do it at some point because of genetic experiments, but we're in the future now. Who cares? I'm sure someone volunteer. I'm sure Tilly would volunteer. There's no ill effects of being turned into a spore person. None. He's like, just do it. So I don't know why they didn't even bring that up. Because, like you said, 10 years of trying to do an artificial one never worked. I had to find a creature that could do it, and I had to turn myself into a guinea pig. And I did. The vibe I got, though, in Tish's dark matter is more she can't think probably because she's tired, and he obviously snapped because he's tired. But the fact is, he knows better than her. She didn't finish the academy as an ensign. She's an engineering, but does not mean spore engineer. She's learned how to use the equipment because she's been on the ship. Doesn't mean she knows how all the fundamentals work. He does know better. So when she brings him an idea that it clearly is not logical, so I hope that goes nowhere. I hope it's just her trying to give him something. I really hope there isn't a dark matter interface. No, bullshit, no. Doesn't make sense.
Well, a lot of Saru's counter to that. Like, there's been 900 years of technical advancement since then. Look into it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But that's also before the dark matter thing comes in. Although he says that, and they've had no access. He says that, but there's no access to that information. Like, they didn't download files from anybody, so they haven't got that information. There's just, like, saying that to me today doesn't help me at all, Mr. Captain. Give me the information first. Well, I haven't got it. Exactly. So can we go get it? I didn't give it. Yeah, I know. But I like Saru here. He's logical. And it also, it's true. The spore drive is the one thing that makes Discovery powerful in this era. Everything else we have is so unbelievably antiquated, it means nothing. Like, we could be like, our warp is so slow, our weapons are ineffective, our shields can't do anything. If you are not available to be sporable, we are doomed. That's a lot of pressure. That's beyond pressure,
Mm-hmm.
And there ain't no Lorca to get inside his mind and say, well, make him do it because he feels obligated. So I was just doing it as a real bloke. Yeah. So yeah, good little lead into other things.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Burnham and looking at her charts and lists of things, all the things about the burn that she's collected, trying to figure that out. And the doctor comes in and talks to her and says, I'd like you to go down with, well, actually, he makes a point of saying, you've been busy. And she's like, yeah, this spore data or this burn data stuff. He's like, no, your quarters, they're a lot less Spartan than they were last time. Because she's collected a lot of stuff, as we saw in that time lapse of her when they panned across her ship, the stuff she collected. So she's changed a lot in a year. Yeah. And he's like, I think you should go down with her to Trill. And she's like, no, wait. It wasn't her idea. I love that it was kind of put on her. And yeah, I didn't think about that at the time, but it's therapy for her as well to deal with things and to have somebody to take care of, essentially, I think, to kind of get her mind off the last year. And just, I think it's a form of him trying to help her. And I love it's pointed out too, like, certain things, life events, there's a theory that, dying, time travel, living a year in a different world at a different time, can change a person. And, he says, you're more than qualified for that. And she's like, so are you. Like, again, I think they both should have gone down. It would have been great, but.
This is the scene that season 1 writers would not have included. And we would say, oh, why the hell is Burnham going? Why?
Yep, exactly.
But this is them saying the fans won't understand because it doesn't make sense. So let's have a nice, simple, cheap to film scene between two good actors having a good scene. And it gives us meat. This is the meat. This is the juicy stuff. Because Burnham is great in this scene. Because also she's second officer, but she has no distinct duty on this ship anymore. Like, she's still doing her own thing with a burn. So she's been given a purpose here, which is unusual. And yeah, she's not a babysitter, but I mean, she's working with Book for it. So she's now used to working in a one-on-one team. This is kind of like what she's more used to.
Ooh. Well, she even says to him, I don't even know how to navigate my way around the ship right now.
Good line.
And I think that's the reason he's doing this, is to give her something to kind of, so that, I worked that. I love how he calls her a responsibility hoarder as well.
Yep.
You take on the responsibilities of everybody else. You just feel like you need. And I can relate to that as somebody with OCD and somebody that's a little bit of a perfectionist. I want to do everything. Like, why don't you let your kids do it? Why don't you let your kids cut the lawn or do whatever? It's like, because they'll do it wrong. I want to make sure it's done right.
Because I
understand
idiots.
that, and No, I understand that because I want to just do stuff myself just so I know it's done properly. And I think that's the responsibility hoarding that they're referring to. And I love that because that's exactly what Michael's character is.
Yeah, and this is definitely a scene that is the writers finally understanding these characters and giving us a real motivational scene. It's still not quite fully organic because it's like, well, why is it just Burnham? Because a whole planet, if the planet is a hostile planet, she can't protect her. Not to say that if you have a doctor there, but if the doctor's there, he can focus on the medical stuff and she can use the gun. So it needed to be both of them. That was a logical thing. And also, I thought it was a bit weird when he says, it's not a medical problem. Mate, you didn't even know Trill existed until yesterday. You didn't know symbiotes existed until yesterday. There's nothing in the database on Trill. You can't say it's not medical. You have no expertise. Sorry, you know how when you scan someone and you can't detect the disease because it's a new disease? Yeah, that. So,
well, they've had access. He has access to the sphere data, supposedly. It's the same sphere data that Sari was referring to last episode. So they have all that information on the Trill that he could have studied up on.
Yeah, but that's assuming the sphere went past Trill itself and scanned it. Like, that's a lot, because it can only scan from orbit. It's not as if the sphere interviewed Trill and learned its history. Like, it learned by seeing things. How would it see the Trill hosts from inside a planet? You know what I mean? There's only so much it can learn, etc., etc. So I think it's still, a bit of a silly thing to say. It's not medical. He doesn't actually know, but obviously he's just saying that as a throwaway comment. It just stood out to me. But I like Burnham's smile. I like her interaction. I like the set. I like the fact there were so many more walk and talks. We never had those in the previous seasons in the same vibe. The sets are brighter. There's more extras. They want more life here. These are more Star Trek moments because we've always had walk and talks, and they're pulled right out of TNG or Voyager, especially Voyager with the silver sets. And I really like this scene with these two of them. It's fun, cheeky music. Burnham plays a trick on her, but it's a nice, pleasant trick, and it makes sense, and it's fun, and she's smiling the whole. It's a really lovely little scene, and this is the Burnham should have got from season 1. Great, good, fun. I like it. I have nothing but positive things about this scene. It's a great scene.
Fleet Pass Swiftback, $2. What a magic feeling to hit 100 likes. Next at 118 likes now with 212 people watching. That's great, guys. Just hit that like button if you haven't. Let's get those numbers up. And Olivia Julius is here. Oh, hail the president. $5. Hello, I'm tuning in for a second just to say Olivia is the best Federation president ever. Well, Mark Lawrence might disagree with you there. So
well, can we all though? Can we all during this presidential time of 2 elections in the course of a week of Olivia Julius and Mark? Can we please have some people in the comments saying, "Yay, President Federation"? Something. Yay, President Federation. Something along those lines. Be positive, because that's a big old support for the channel. So, some sort of credit to Mark and Olivia. If you could all in the chat. Let's have a universal well done.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with the U.S. election, guys. It's nothing political. It's just
we
now have the Federation president as one of our tiers for joining the channel. We got 2 of them, which is great. So that's what we're talking about.
But yeah, Stuart, what do you think of this scene?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I love seeing more Dr. Culber. I like the character. I like the actor. And yes, Burnham feeling, as Tilly says, lighter. I love that term. It really shows, and especially in the next scene with the walk and talk with Adira, Burnham's smiling a lot and talking about that she should go with her and stuff. I think it's a fun scene. Like, you're right, there's more heart and soul so far in this season
in
than
4
there has
episodes.
been in all. Yeah, exactly. And Burnham, if this was Burnham from the beginning, I think everybody would have been fine with her.
And it wouldn't even matter.
A normal person.
It wouldn't even matter if she still had a problem. Data does as well. Seven does as well. It's how you do it.
Yeah.
They're also 2 strong characters, but it's the way they do it. No, it's refreshing, honestly. And just the acting's better. Yeah. Just better acting. I don't know. It's so strange.
Pillowy Giant 69 puts in £5.
Interesting name.
Getting close to my birthday, the 10th of November, but wanted to say I did like this episode. Like the last one. Keep up the good work, Captain and Commander. Well, thank you, and happy birthday to you. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, on a Tuesday. Well, not ideal, but go out for or order in some nice food. I always say you always have to have cake on your birthday. Some sort of cake. Some sort of cake. Very, very important. And as Burnham said, cake is eternal.
It is.
There you go.
Cold Blood, 1977, €5.
Thank you.
Cheers to the president. Well, thank you very much. I'm sure they'll both appreciate that.
Finish the president. Woo! And Sean says, why don't we get the Enterprise uniforms? Yeah, this season would be better again. One more step if they'd swapped those uniforms at the end of last season. I think seeing everyone in primary colours will also bump up the quality.
Olivia Julius, $5. I felt more bad about Gray's death than the cyborg lady in season 2. Absolutely. Yeah, they made you. This episode was good for that. Like, that's example of good writing and good acting. Is the fact that this is an emotional episode, and I can see why people got emotional with it. It was well done, and that's something that's really been lacking in Discovery. So, we cared more about Gray in like what 2-3 minutes of screen time than we would care about Bryce
and it was blurry, and we knew they were probably dead anyway. Like the impetus, they're probably dead. So like we knew, instead of 7 to 12 to 15 minutes of just Arium doing a thing. Yeah, absolutely.
And Judge Joker puts in £5. Something, yay, President Federation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and guys, you guys are doing great. But keep super chatting. We're about halfway to our minimum per live, and obviously we hope Discovery Lives do better. And keep clicking like, guys. We're at 136. I want to see 150. I really, really do. That is not plus though. That's up to you guys. So they board the shuttle and they leave. Instantly, I'm wondering why didn't they beam? I don't know.
Could be an issue with the older transporters and the Trill symbiote.
Now they did say, thank you, that's actually good. They did say that in TNG. Explicitly said we can't beam, it'll hurt the symbiote. That would have been great. But obviously Jadzia beamed 1 billion times.
Well, that's because they upgraded the transporters, obviously, by then, that's all.
Well, because in TNG they didn't know there were Trill symbiotes. They didn't know. And
exactly.
The chief medical officer on the flagship would know. Like, that's the most talented medical officer theoretically in Starfleet of that sort. Okay, Stuart, I like that. I wish I'd said that. That would have been a nice, it would have been nice if they were walking to the shuttle and she's like, why aren't we beaming? Sphere says it'll hurt the symbiote. And she's like, oh, I guess we're taking a shuttle. Yeah. But now you've said that, lovely bit of canon there, if true. So it's more expensive to this way. They had to make multiple CGI shots that did not particularly add much.
But they're using the Discovery shuttle, and they like to do that, so.
They do.
Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. Arium brought a tear to my eye, equally sad. I totally disagree. 1000% disagree.
Like it's still sad because the flashbacky thing, but the fact that they just made the character more in episode 2 kill her, that you lose all of the power. It's like all they did was give her scenes in the previous 5 and it would have meant something, but by not doing that, it's a soulless cash grab of, well, you need to fill this week, so we'll do it. That's not how you tell stories. That's not how you do it. They're opposite,
Olivia Julius, $5. Fleet Admiral Ozzy said she was on my side. Ozzy's a he, but that's okay. I'll keep him around for a little while longer. Okay, well, you got it right the second half there.
Sounds
Thank you.
Mirror universe there.
Cold Blood, 1977, €5. Cheers to the captain and commander.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Cheers to you as well.
Cheers. I had a...
And where are the rest of the Discovery shuttles? Is there only one? Because they're pretty big. And this is pretty big in the bay here. And is this a Section 31 shuttle?
They've always been black. They've always been black.
I know, but it's Discovery 31 as well. It's like...
Oh.
Well, let's not forget about Section 31, guys. It's black and it says 31 on it.
Maybe it's the one that Giorgio brought aboard at some point. Her personal one.
Maybe.
Because why the hell would you make it that black and red? Like, weird. But yeah, you are right, though. There's a lot of stuff in the shuttle bay, but only one shuttle. To be fair, I'd be fine if there's only, 2 shuttles. I actually kind of like that. I think that'd be actually a benefit to limit them.
Well, there's only a few on the Constitution class. You only usually see one in the bay. Most of them, they're underneath. Yeah. They're parked underneath.
Do they have 3 shuttles and then 1 on standby?
Well, apparently, I always thought they had 4, but somebody last night told me they had 7 according to the blueprints, and I'm like, 7's a bit much for that ship.
Yeah, that's too many.
Four works for me. You can fit 4, 3 underneath the deck, 1 on the deck.
And they'd be cramped. They'd be like, right, you just
yeah,
you're packing them, and then you have to carefully, because that Shuttle Bay in the Enterprise is not a quick launch bay. It takes time to load and deload, and that's fine. It's not designed for that. That's why I've got the transporters. But they go down to the planet. I like this scene a ton with these two characters. The Doctor's on fire in this episode, and Saru as well.
Yeah.
Really good, these two.
Pillowy giant, 69, 5 pounds. Still bummed about the shuttle bay doors. Even got my mother saying it's open. That's funny.
You know what I think? I think the doors are broken. I actually think they got destroyed in the battle.
That's bullshit.
But wouldn't it be cool if they said that? And like we just
it would.
It's just not important to fix them. Like we've got bigger. Like every episode we get damaged in a different way. We have to fix it. And why would we? Because it's at least we've got a reason then. You know, the doors got broken years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this scene, I forgot about this scene with Saru and the Doctor. It's great.
It's great.
They're all physically sound, and Saru's like, I noticed you didn't say they're healthy.
I did not.
It's like no. Then they showed the stress levels, and the whole. If they were a rat in a cage, they'd be chewing their tails off, including you.
And it says my tail.
No, this was a great scene. Yeah, appreciate your concern. Yeah. She's like, what do we need to do? Focus on routine, and he's like, no. We're in.
Yeah.
If we disappeared tomorrow, nobody would miss us. We wouldn't even make a ripple. And he's like, oh, we need to feel connected to something. Okay, cool. Good scene.
This is a very sharp scene. It really understands what it's trying to be, and it's very
not
sharp.
Bloated. It's focused. It's very hitting the beats.
And do you know how I told you? I said in episode 2, most of the repairing scenes were generic. This scene is dripping with character lines. Like, this is actually characters interacting, not just the crew is hurt. How do you fix them? This. No. It's really properly written. And also, you might want to read True's comments, Stuart.
I love my new Trekyards t-shirt. Thank you guys. Posting a pic on Facebook. Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that after the live.
Please do.
And glad you got a t-shirt.
Yeah. So they land in a very CGI environment, but that's okay. They walk through a very color saturated environment. I will give them credit. I liked the fish flying creature.
The flying fish was cool.
I mean, it's a waste of like $10,000 worth of CGI time. I'd rather put into that, put into some other stuff. But I liked it. Like 4 days, I liked it. And yeah, we get color coordinated Trill, with I guess the head of the government and some and yeah, it's an interesting scene. It's an interesting scene.
The rambling Johnny, you have a whole planet of gardens and crap. Shore leave, you idiot. Yeah, shore leave would have been helpful probably on Trill. Yeah.
That's great. I didn't thought of that. Yeah.
And Caleb Horn, $20. Yay! Zora is starting to awaken, emerge. They accidentally wrote in the end game for Discovery if they decide to follow the story from Calypso.
Yeah.
Also loved Culber and Saru working together, but why would you invite Giorgio? Silly. I know. You got to keep an eye on her, so better to have her like where you know what she's doing.
I mean, that's true. That is a fair point. And as far as the only problem with the Zora storyline thing is that if she's already an AI now, what was the point of the short? You'll skip if it didn't take 1,000 years, then all that fun evolution story is pointless. Unless obviously the point was to keep the ship there, like something else on the ship was growing. But it's like if it's already an AI over the next year, it's skipping a lot, isn't it?
Somebody suggested something last night, which I love. What they do is they send the ship back in time, let some of the crew go back home, okay, including Giorgio probably for the Section 31 show, park it in the nebula, and then it can observe the burn real time, doing real time scans, so that when it comes back, they know exactly what caused the burn. And that is an interesting idea to me. If that works, they'd have to make sure all the dilithium was off the ship, however. Which I don't remember in Calypso if it's mentioned that the ship can't go anywhere for whatever reason.
No, it can't go anywhere.
It's supposed to wait.
Otherwise, you'd think he would make it go somewhere. Like they need every ship they can have.
So they take all the dilithium off so it can observe the burn real time and get sensor readings and data.
The problem with that though is that Burnham and crew felt it fine to change the control future from destroying the galaxy. Why would they not want, if they've got the ability to change it, why would they not try and change the burn story from happening? It's like, why in films do you go back 5 hours?
We got to find out what caused it first.
I mean, like double dip on the time travel.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. That's fair. I can say yeah. So maybe the nebula is right near the burn, like the original start point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Because a ship can, and if the ship like volunteers, like in an awkward scene of like, I volunteer.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I'm a ship. I'll be fine. I'll be bored, but I'll be fine.
This is what you do. You do this, and then literally 5 minutes later, after you just send me back in time, you turn around, and I'll be in that nebula.
Yep.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. So they were off the ship for no amount of time.
And that's not even bad. I like that. But then the thing that skews their plan is that the Ecliptor thing to happen, and him being around changes things. Because it was never going to happen until it happened. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Logical.
Fleet Pass Swift back $2. 154 likes.
Excellent.
Sweet. Let's get to 200. Challenge issued. We have 239 people watching, which is great.
Excellent.
So, guys, if you haven't hit the like button. There's a lot of you that haven't, I can tell. Hit the like button. Let's get to 200. Yes, we get introduced to the Trill Council, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, hey, yeah, so you said that you had a Trill, where are they at? And it's like,
I like how awkward that is.
It's like, what? Yeah.
It's nice awkward.
And then the whole what? And then they talk about forcing the separation of the Trill and host. Oh, that'll kill them. And we've never done that before. We're not going to start now.
Yeah.
It's best that you just leave. It's like this went south really, really quick.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I think it was a little harsh, considering if they're having issues with Trill hosts and symbiotes. The best thing to do is maybe look into your options. This person obviously is healthy, standing in front of you with a symbiote inside. The symbiote had to accept her. You know that. That's how symbiotes work. So why not at least look into it? It seems a little bit too dismissive to me.
Like, you don't even scan them to see the problem. She could have a cold right now and stop it. Yeah.
So
it's a tricky one. Okay, so I like the fact that Burnham is so positive. It's a great start to the scene. She's like, and here she is. Everyone's like, what? Yeah. I like that. In rewatching it, the wordage is so specific from the guy in yellow, who obviously is more of the naysayer. A human has never successfully been joined with a Trill. Now, I instantly thought, well, in TNG, he was successfully joined with a Trill, but that's not what he said. He said, never been successfully joined. There have been humans joined with Trills, they just don't last. So he's right, potentially.
It's only like a temporary. It's a temporary thing. It's a temporary thing to keep the symbiote alive in extreme situations.
Yeah. Now, obviously, in TNG, the only reason it was not working is because he's been rejected. But obviously, this human doesn't. So it's purely a case of they have to risk it. But at some point, a human will whatever. I wish he had said, but he did technically say never successfully. That is true. But I don't like their lack of negativity. Because it's clearly possible. This kind of devalues that if you need a pouch, which I thought they did, but they don't, because again, TNG. Because while obviously the makeup of a Trill is different, the symbiote has remained almost identical for all these years, and the concept is the same. So it's kind of a mixed bag of what you take and don't take, but you take things that are more consistent than other things. But I was surprised how negative, and like I say, throwing off a planet does not make much sense. But that said, most of the time, and if this was season 1 or 2, you'd expect them to say, take them. And they take into a brig. The fact they let them go is still is that optimistic future that we need? This doesn't work for them.
But do they let them go? Because on their way back,
well,
the shuttle. Burnham's like, we're not heading back to the shuttle. So where were they taking them? I know he talks to her right there. What were they going to do? What was the plan? What was the game plan from the Trill? They fire up their sticks. What are they going to do? They get shot. So I don't know what their plan was.
Well, and then
the guy comes in helps.
It was a faction thing.
Okay.
The head of the government lady is fine to say him go. She's done. The red ones are going to talk to them either way, but realizes they're being led astray by the yellow guy, who is going to actively abuse them and remove the Trill. Fine, but it's not the government want that. It's this guy going on his own. This isn't a plan. This is just him responding. He's desperate.
How did you feel about the line? we got to do this before so and so wakes up, because it sounds like the lady went and had a nap between the meeting and where they come back into the caves. It was just the dumbest. I was like, what?
Well, he means
I had to
people
listen
I
to it
stunned.
twice.
It's people I stunned, obviously. But it's like, stun them again then. Like, just put them on a higher stun. If you know they're going to wake up in 2 hours because you've stunned them, go and stun them again. Like, stun is not kill. High stun. But it was
But you hit them twice, they die.
That's Stargate.
3 times.
And 4 shots
Mike
to come back.
WP...
It's very confusing.
Mike WPG, $5. The Trill were the worst. Flip-floppers, poorly written. Yeah, it was the worst part of the episode for me as well. Just the reaction to it and not even considering the possibility, or like you said, getting a scan. You know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think their basic concept is fine, but yeah, the "you must go" idea is abrupt, especially as they explicitly say. Oh, sorry.
They also don't know how long this ship has traveled to get here. Its sole purpose could have been like 10, 12 years to get here to help out this poor symbiote.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah, piss off.
Well, because they're not...
whatever.
I mean, to be fair, they haven't even scanned her. They don't even know she's got a symbiont. To be fair, they've no proof. They could be thinking that.
Yeah.
So scan her. But they say explicitly, we basically lost most of our symbiotes when all the ships blew up. And most of our people we lost most of our host people. So we've got too few hosts that are suitable for symbionts. So we've actually got more symbionts than hosts, which I thought was a weird concept. Like, how can you, like, your planet, I'm sure, has trillions or many billions. Are you saying there's not 500 hosts? How do you have excess? It's 900 years in the future. Can you not genetically engineer somebody? That seemed like a non-starter. That seemed very odd to me. Although I guess you could argue you only want, DNA pure people to go inside anyway. But it's like every symbiont should be sacred. Throwing one away seems folly. Actually, I don't even know the name of it.
Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is...
Like, I was waiting, though. I thought there would be one... Because you said this last week. When he says Sigma Tolly, whatever the name was, I was going to say, oh, that Trill's banished. And that's the reason to F off. Because they say the name of the Trill. They should know who that is. There's only so many Trill out there that are hosts. They've just made that clear. This guy only left 12 years ago or whatever. Like, they should have registered that. Like, that was a Starfleet admiral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they don't he could have got the Trill symbiote after the burn and not been back to Trill. Like, we don't know when all this happened.
But the surname stays the same though. So you always recognize the surname.
I know, but it could be like Smith. There could be 15 of them.
I don't think.
Who knows?
I mean, sure, but that's obviously a stretch. But you know what I mean? I wish there was some recognition of who that guy was, because this is the future. We've still got records from 1900s, like birth records, and that was paper that was scanned. This is the data. Of course, remember, none of these planets were decimated by the burn, just the ships. The planets are all fine. Like, data wouldn't go away. It shouldn't be. So it was definitely a weird one. I still like some interaction stuff.
Yeah. Luke Celeste throws in $5. Even on Trill, Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Yes, Hubert is very bad. That's all we'll say about that.
That's fun.
Don't want to get into that. So.
But yeah, sad times, and they've got to go. The next scene is yes, ambush.
I gotta say, I love the I love the Trill sticks. I love the way I think those are cool. But like as you said, they feel more Vulcan.
Yes, or Stargate. Although I quite like their outfits. Yeah. But it's like, why would you bring a staff to a gunfight, considering you saw her with a gun on her? I mean, it's a really like contrived, stupid little. I guess we're assuming she's not going to shoot them because she's Starfleet, and obviously she's Rebel Starfleet now. Maybe that's the thought. Yeah. Starfleet wouldn't shoot us. I guess. I
assume those are staffs off of like the staff weapon from Stargate. Like they could probably shoot a projectile as well. And
they'd have to be. Yeah.
That's what the one guy was firing up to do, and
they'd have to be. Yeah. But it's definitely a lazy sort of fight. I mean, it's not a fight, is it? It's like we gotta get it done. But I really adore that she just shoots him when he doesn't say he'll say anything. I like that because that shows her Burnhamness. She might have done that in season 1, but now it makes sense. Like, she's no longer a rule follower. She believes in the spirit of Federation, but she'll do what she believes is right, and in a more fun way.
After she shot him, she should have been like, and that's Vulcan for hello.
Bitch.
Took you a second, but you got
it. That's good.
Big Vic 2, Salinas,
shit joke.
$5.
Come on, guys. Super chat's that joke. That is a great joke.
A good joke.
Brilliant.
I can see the season 3 finale, series finale, introducing. It won't be a series finale. It'll be.
Well, they're filming season 4 now. Like, they're now
introducing.
Confirmed. So, season 4 is happening. Don't believe the rumors. It's filming now. So there you go.
Introducing 32nd Century Borg, a la TNG and Voyager. This would be a great way to end the show on a cliffhanger. I disagree. I don't want to hear anything about the Borg. Maybe a reference that they were a problem, but they're gone now.
Like,
really, like,
you can
come up with something new.
You can build into the Borg if you earn it, but you can't throw them in. Like, earn it. Don't just use it. And Lazarus 2 has the same joke I said earlier. I've trained for 10 years with this staff. No one can best me. Pew pew. Yeah, exactly. I made the same joke.
Yeah, we made that joke in the other live. Trained your whole life in this martial arts, and you get zapped.
And the wife says, Dennis, I said bring your phaser to work today. I said, remember your packed lunch and your phaser. And what did you do? You forgot to pack lunch and you brought the staff. I tell you this every week, Dennis. But then, Red Cape says hey.
Anyway.
And yeah, we're going to Safe Coast. They just happen to be over there. Perfect. Just happened to be right around the corner. Good timing.
And Fleetpaw throws in $2, and that's what you call a Vulcan hello. Yes.
There you go.
Zeraxis, $5. I'd imagine any Trill weapon would be designed to not harm the symbiote if possible. So presumably they don't stab people with those things. Oh, I wouldn't expect them to be stabby weapons at all.
Like lightning.
But yeah.
The problem is though, if there's so few symbiotes,
or even a stun setting, like just the glowing part hits you and just stuns you.
Or like it fires like a ball of energy, like it comes out from the tip going boom, like a shockwave.
Yes.
But remember, like 99% of the Trill world are just humans called Trill. They're not symbionts, so I would not think they would design weapons specially to not harm like 5,000 Trill symbionts. Like, these are the military weapons. Like, that's such a small niche thing. It's like saying, we design our swords to fight tigers. I mean, you could, but you'd never fight tigers. You could fight if you went to a tiger location, but you wouldn't actually just fight them generally. Yeah.
Now's my favorite part of the episode.
I thought you were going to say that exact wordage. Take it away, Stuart.
Well, the other favorite part of the episode is the end, where anyway, yeah, this is where Saru's asking the computer for recommendations how to help out his crew. It's like saying stress-free coloring books, and he's like, no, I don't want an endless list of activities, like something that will actually help. And then you see the sphere data in the background, which was really cool. And the computer's voice changes, chuckles a little bit, and gives him some interesting insight, talking about laughter and how meaningful it can be. And then it goes on to talk about Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin. And it was just a really good scene. And then the computer, he asked for a level 10 diagnostic. It says, I'm fine. And it's switching between the computer voice and, is it Laura? Laura? Anyway, I forget what the sentient ship in Calypso ended up being called. But it's switching between the two. And I think it's a little early for a fully sentient ship yet. I do like the idea that it had to sit for a while to kind of take in all the data to become an actual artificial intelligence. But I do like this part. I think this is good. So yeah. And then just says, basically, they come to the conclusion the crew requires R&R, and just having them, giving them a night off.
What was the short trek called with the AI?
Calypso.
Yeah. So yeah, I like this scene. Massive reminiscence of Saru when he took charge for a brief time. Previously, he had to ask the computer how to be a captain. List traits of the captain. So I liked the like flashback vibes. But I mean, look at the set decoration. All the bright colors. It kept that Pike nice vibe. It's still not a very good set with too much silver, but it's definitely better than it's ever been. I do
It
think
looks really good. It's a room I like.
yeah. Oh yeah, one of the better ones. And it's the tables, they keep getting different sets, and now the tables are monotreme, which is quite cool. And like, fluffy chairs, that's kind of cool. These briefing chairs are fluffy. It's kind of fun. But I like the scene, although the going AI devalues Calypso a bit, unless it is that easy. The thing is, the sphere data is basically a god device anyway, so of course it's already sentient. Like, you can't really get from A to B, it's already sentient. You know what I mean? Clearly. So it's kind of a... I like the coloring book was hilarious. I thought that was great. Intergalactic shopping, great.
Yeah.
Really, really clever stuff. I found it funny. They got the number wrong. Level 10 diagnostic is the least effective diagnostic.
Yep.
Like that's. I was like, oh, is that it? And I just googled it. Look, level 1 is a manual everything off diagnostic, and that's why you want to say level 1 diagnostic. So run the lowest. So they got that one wrong, but that's okay. Whatever. Yeah, it's good, and yeah, definitely. Oh, I said to you before, this is the least subtle scene in the episode. It's blatant. It's bashing on the head of look, sphere data, AI going alive, but that's okay. It works. Just a bit not subtle.
Yeah.
And then you get the caves, and clearly they are DS9 replicas. Good job, guys. Well done.
And Aeon puts in $5. They need a quick jump to Ryza. They all just need to chill out and quit being so dramatic. Right?
That is true. Okay, right. Now, I'm going to see if the same actress that played Zara... Oh, I recognise that actress.
Yes, she did. She did do the voice, yes.
Yep, she's in both. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah, she didn't sound... Just sound like white lady. Like, didn't sound, couldn't tell. But that's cool.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Dennis Williams, because I thought she had a sexy voice in Calypso. So.
But it's definitely Williams. It's definitely too easy though. Like, she's already the AI. Like, that's instant. It should have been some sort of build,
Dennis Williams, $10. Do you think they may send Discovery back to witness the burn at the mid-season mark? And they can come back for her in the second half, and at that point, the ship is full of character. Yes, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Maybe not mid-season, maybe like close, like 3 episodes from the end. And it's going to be literally, bye, Discovery. Hi, Discovery. There you are in the nebula.
No, they're not,
it's going to be that
They're not quick. Fade to black with the words, go watch the Calypso short. We'll wait. Fade back up. We're both a prequel and sequel to Calypso. Although I would say mid-season could be quite interesting.
And
that could actually be kind of interesting.
And no. Yeah. Here's where he says, we don't have much time. Voss will awaken and the commission will see that your ship is still here. Commissioner Voss is the lady.
No. Really? I thought it was the guy.
Yes. And that's what threw me off, because I'm like, what, did she go for a nap? Is she that old? Like, it's obviously not nighttime. I mean, it was just weird.
Stuart, after every chat with staff officers from the past, you need to have a nap. It just drains you. But yeah, I like the set. You do see a symbiont in a pool briefly. Clearly there's some practical lightning in the below the water. Like, there's some clever use of practical stuff here. And I like the joke line. Again, it's a very unlike season 1 joke, and I think it pays off. Tell me something annoying as inspirational. Don't make it annoying. Well, if you don't do this, you'll be shot soon. She's like, thanks. It's great. Chirpy line. I like it. Just right. Good. Move on. Love it.
That was okay. I'm wrong. Sorry. The leader is Pav. You're right. The guy in the yellow is Voss. Okay. Sorry. I just had to go back and double check.
That's fine.
That's why I was confused the first time, because I thought I heard it differently. Anyway.
But yeah, good scene.
I can admit I'm wrong.
You can, and I admit I was wrong about the voice. But yeah, then you've got the start of the dinner scene with lots of alien-looking things. And I both like and dislike elements of this scene. It's a long scene, obviously. Yeah, and basically these two scenes are the rest of the episode. We've now reached the same scene whole episode pretty much. And I gotta say, Linus, like, put him in every scene, although it doesn't make sense he's here. He doesn't know Saru. He's not he's not that guy, but I love him and I love his makeup. I love how alive his face is for a prosthetic. I love it. But he doesn't make sense in this arrangement. But he's next to bloody Giorgio. And the way he comes in, he's like, oh, hey. She's like, hey. Like, these two are friends. There's a connection of these two.
Yeah.
Like,
they're looks like sort of a relationship, because later he hands her popcorn and she's like, fine.
Wouldn't that be great if they're dating by the end of the season? Wouldn't that be the most ridiculous, beautiful thing? Like, a Saurian dates Space Hitler and helps her become a better woman. That's absurd. I love that. It's silly. It's ridiculous.
But Sarah does the comparison. This is basically a Thanksgiving dinner, because all cultures have this kind of giving thanks thing. And then stupid Giorgio picks up the piece and like throws it. Like, really? That was unnecessary. That whole part bit could have been cut. It just makes me hate her even more again. I mean, I guess that's the point, to remind us that she's a bitch. But
well, she was also underused to the extreme this week. Like, she had nothing, and it was good. You don't need Giorgio. Although honestly, that stabbing noise was perfect. I thought she stabbed him. Like, it's such a visceral, and it's like, oh, food. I was like, did you stab him? What? I was very confused by that.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, $5. I interrupt this program to let you know I got chicken from Popeyes. Popeyes makes good chicken, man.
I haven't actually had Popeyes before. I have not had Popeyes.
Well, you'll have to try it when you come over.
Yeah, I will.
And this is where Sarah's like, yeah, we made a decision a millennium ago.
I like that. Yeah, that's a funny line.
Yeah. I'll never forget what I heard. We each cast our vote. And it was kind of like a small prayer. So what did we say? I want to repeat that back now. And he starts with Detmer, and it's just, I. Everybody's like, I. Or I said I. I said I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then George, I do like Georgia here, like, well, I didn't say I, but I'm here anyway. That was funny. That was good.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it, but I'm here.
Yes.
It's fine. But what I took from this scene, though, is that I'd resent saying I. I would resent that. That's like, this was my choice to give up my life. I would not use that as my rallying cry. But I guess, why would you also have the cross for Christianity, the thing that murdered him? Like, it's not exactly a good thing. So, like, in a similar way, the thing that hurt us, we're going to use now to bring us strength, I guess. But it would seem to be the opposite. Maybe like the badge.
The cross was the cross was the thing that brought him to his lowest point, and then so he could rise again and do what he was intended to do and take on all of our sins.
But it's still covered in
blood. So that's why that's used.
But it's still a horrific torture method. Still a horrible thing. Just like sacrifice yourself for the future for, But yeah, and I was hopeful in this scene that would get everyone interacting. We didn't get that. At least, I mean, you wanted everybody in the episode, though. At least you did get everybody, except who was missing?
Well, Jet.
Yes.
I forget her name.
Jet
Is that her name? Is that the character name? Jet?
Yeah, you got it. Jet Reno.
Yeah, she should have been there, in my opinion. But, well, that's okay.
Yeah, but as I said earlier, obviously she wasn't a bridge officer. She wasn't there in season 1, and Sarah wasn't the captain, so she probably doesn't know her. I mean, we didn't even know she was on the ship until she randomly appeared on the ship again. So, a confusing non-character. Yeah.
Area 51 throws in $5. Giorgio is just buttering him up, so to speak. Haha, funny.
Yeah.
And Fleet Paw Swiftback, $5. Is Linus sizing her up for his next meal? Is Giorgio? Find out next time on Discovery Family Dinner Time. That's good. And Aeon, $2. Giorgio needs a mustache to twirl. Yes, excellent.
Yeah. And Just Gaming for Us just made it here. Hey, good to see you. Oh well, I just want to say I found this episode boring / shrug. Well, we liked it overall. I think we would both agree though, Stuart, that it's better to have longer, padded episodes and more character moments than shorter without any. Like, if you have to pick one, at least one has more content to see the characters in,
Yeah. I would say the longer, yeah, for sure.
Like, you might not think they're the best episodes, but they'll benefit in the long run of, like, okay, they got scenes, you know? Like, we didn't need that scene with Burnham and thinking about going on the planet. It could have been half as long, but it was good the way it was. So, you know.
So down in the pools here, now he's saying that a Trill can't thrive in an unwilling host. So these two obviously have something going. But whatever memory is blocking her from accessing the other memories, she has to face it. She has to deal with it. That's what this is all about. You need to put her in there. And then she comes out with the gown on, and not really my style kind of thing. Which it's exactly like Jedzi is, which is great.
Yeah. I actually liked his explanation about... Because I just thought it was because she's a human, but then when we watch TNG, Riker gets the stuff instantly, so that isn't the problem. I like there was this very simple problem, just the trauma. I like that. It's a very elegant, simple problem. Although, equally elegant and simple is a little ball they put in the water. It's like, wow, scientific guys. If it cracks, she's in danger. Yeah, great, thanks. Like, why can't I have a little pad?
It's called the Minta orb. Mintha orb.
Have a pad.
Yeah. Anyway.
That was weird. But yeah, she goes.
And Burnham reminds her. Burnham reminds her again that the message from Senatel is very vital. Like, yes, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which comes into play later because she's like, "You're not here for me. You're just here for that message. That's all you care about." But yeah, then the lenses go in and she looks like something out of a horror movie, which is great.
Yeah.
And we go back to the meal, and you get a little bit of Tilly and Stamets thing. And what's that all about? Oh, I don't know. It's fine.
And what are they reaching for? Look like a spoon, I guess, to put food on? I don't know. It was unclear.
Yeah, it looks like he was... I don't know. Maybe reaching for the serving spoon for the macaroni.
I guess?
I don't know.
Yeah. And boy, there is a... You can tell they've been sat here for like 10 minutes without much talking, is the vibe. It's just like we've been, shuffling food, and Giorgio's made some snide remarks, and Saru's trying to say some stuff, but it's not really clicked yet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, she does her little haiku about the kelps, the drying kelp.
Yeah.
Is there some dessert? And so Dr. Culber screws up his haiku, and it's like, it's fine, no matter. And then Tilly, for some reason, the puking on the Tellurian ambassador, not really appropriate for the table. Whatever.
Yeah, before you jump.
So let's ask Detmer to do one.
Obviously, let me pause at that point. I didn't see that good coming, but it was fine. I love the fact that the Doctor gets it wrong. I thought that was like the standout moment in the entire episode. Just like that felt so improv, like so genuine. Yeah. I love that. The Tilly thing I thought was funny because Tellurite ambassador. Oh no, that's not a good thing to do. And especially with lower decks, we just met some more Tellurites. Okay, there we go. Again, good line. I wish there was more of that. Like that was good. That was really good.
I think it was probably a genuine blooper. Like that played really well. Let's just keep that in.
That's just so real. Yeah. Okay. Then. Yeah.
Then they asked Detmer to do it, and she's like, "No," and it's like, "Come on, just do it." And then she starts talking about the drones and couldn't get the blood off the floor or Stamets' blood off the floor, and then no, it's fine. No one can clean Stamets' blood. No, okay, I've got it. It's just like, what? Where is this coming from? First of all, and then he's like, my life's not a joke.
Well, Stuart, she snaps, like instantly.
Yes, absolutely.
like
absolutely.
Yeah.
Nervous breakdown, snap.
Yeah.
But why is it all directed at Stamets? There's been no interaction between these two.
Ever?
Like, at all.
Yeah, I said that in our review. It's like, have they ever actually just seen together? I don't think so.
But it's her, like, I move the ship and you move the ship, but you're like a superhero and you take all the credit and, I was the one that landed the ship. No, you crashed the ship, but thank you. Anyway, they have the little back and forth, and it comes out of nowhere. And she's like, you kiss everybody kiss your ass because you're so special. And it's like, wow, I flew us here into the future, she says. I landed this ship. I landed Discovery. It's like, did you though? And even Tilly's like, oh my God, stop it. You guys are both acting like complete assholes.
And that's a good use of a slight swear word. Appropriate time, appropriate place. Yeah. You know. Oh, and Grid Cube says Dr. Culber calls her Emperor, which I actually quite liked as a throwaway, like, oh Emperor, look how far you've fallen, Emperor. You're having dinner with us people. Sorry.
Yeah, but Stamets leaves. The Doctor leaves, and then Owashika, the other lady, says, "You did land this monster. He should be thanking you." It's like, what? Whoa, where did that come from? This episode, I got the feeling that those two have a relationship, and not just best friends, not just front of the ship. It feels like they have a more than that. But that came out of the blue
are they
for
more
me.
than meets
for her,
the eye?
They're not Transformers, no.
Okay.
But no, for her to say that was a little harsh. And I think she should have been more tempered. Is like, you did land this ship, but you know, she should have said something else other than he should be thanking you. It was just too much for me. And then everybody leaves.
Yeah. Also, slightly out of focus. And guys, we are 8 likes away from. Oh, there you go. 8 likes away from 200. Could do another $50 at least. So put in some 5s. Let us know what you think. I mean, this is a big scene, guys. Do put in what you think. Yeah, the thing is, I like her acting, but it's like a 1 to 10 out of nowhere, as you said. Like, it would have been fine if she started saying haiku and then zoned out and it got darker. But she went literally to Stamets' blood, and it's like, why would you ever go to that? Where is that from? There was no connection apart from you were in the room. But you really think you were focusing on Stamets? Like, that wasn't in the scene. You weren't. You were zoned out. There's no link there. Like, if we'd played the scene in episode 1 where she came into sickbay and the Doctor says, "Oh, help me with his blood," and she's mopping it, then it's fine. You know, she can't get the image out of her head. Mm-hmm. But it's a completely nonsensical image for her to have. And her losing like that is so unbelievable. It completely takes you out of the episode. And her sadistic, crazy acting, it's like, where is this from? And then Stamets obviously calls her out, and she's like, "Oh, I wasn't trying to be mean." And it's like, but the way she says that, it's like she isn't trying to be mean, but she's talking about his death when they're talking about it's very abstract. And then I quite like their spat because you never hear that. Because they're both right. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, we never see her fly the damn ship ever. Season 1, they always spore jumped, always. Yeah. Season 2, they didn't for a bit, and they did for a bit, but we never saw them go places at warp. So she's not really a pilot. And
B. Cluett says, it pisses me off that she says pilot instead of helmsman, though. The only reason they said pilot was because later they can say pilots are macho. We don't show our feelings.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's not in a fit mental state right now. She's using an anachronistic, you know. I'm the hotshot pilot. I'm fine with that. It's, you know.
I am too. I mean,
in the context.
Yeah, pilot. Yeah, exactly. It's more of a cocky term. Helmsman is just like whatever.
And she's trying to tell him, I'm the pilot, bitch. I'm on piloting. It's not. I'm the helmswoman. Doesn't quite, you know. But yeah, I agree. She crashed.
Well, it wouldn't be helmswoman. It would be helmsman. It's not a sexist term to say.
You know what I mean, though. Like, if she's trying to use the power, she would.
Yeah.
And yeah, she uses. Oh, I flew us into the future. No, you went forwards.
You followed Burnham and got sucked through a wormhole that spit you out. You didn't fly anything.
No.
Sorry.
You went in a straight line. And even in the battle, you did a turn. And that was it. You didn't... But because the show's never been interested in showing her flying. Now, she did pilot once when they had to move the rock through the asteroid field. Like, she's done passive avoiding flying. But any pilot can do that. It's basic evasive maneuvers. You know, she's never been given that sort of justification. Like, I would never put her on the same level as, you know, a Sulu or a Paris. You know,
Paris, yeah.
Yeah, she's not a dedicated, or even Travis. Like, she's just an average pilot that was handpicked by Lorca because he knew her in the mirror universe and knew he could manipulate her. Remember, this entire crew has been assembled because Lorca knew them in the mirror universe and knew how to corrupt them. She's not the best pilot for the mission. She's the one he picked. They're not the best of the best.
Fun will now commence, as Paris did call himself pilot. Yeah, but he also piloted the Delta Flyer. It's not a helmsman when you're in command of a shuttle. You're a pilot in that case. When you're flying a starship, it's a little bit of a different situation. So
nice.
George Magram, $2. Detmer did donuts in a starship at Terralicium. Oh yeah, she did do a donut. I forgot.
But lots of people could do that.
Oi.
Like, if she's taking credit for one thing, like, you know, I mean, that seems like a pretty normal thing.
Only one person can spore jump. Just saying.
Well, it's like, you know how in the first episode of Orville you see the guy do that thing around the ship. Like, that's good piloting. We were set up. He's an amazing pilot. Done.
Hugging the donkey.
Yeah, that was clearly great piloting. Like, I won't say she's a bad pilot, but she's not. Anyway. And yeah, like, Stamets is more important, although he's an arrogant son of a bitch. Like, he needs to be brought down a few pegs, but everyone's tense, so everyone gets to be more extreme. Yeah, it definitely hurt the scene. It wasn't organic. It should have been better. And then what's even worse is that when everyone leaves, the two guys who were meant to be showing more about the secondary crew just leave without saying a word. It's like, that's their chance to say something.
Yeah.
You know, it's so awkward. As you said earlier, they picked a crew member in the secondary cast to be the token bridge officer we're going to give a story to. The other three, nope. They're still nobodies. Like, we're still not going to give them anything. We picked one and we did something with her.
Yeah.
Whereas they should have all had lines there that really meant something. So.
Aeon puts in $5.
Thank you.
Another insult. No Jet Reno at the table. She's my favorite character. Yeah, I wish she would have been there too.
That's sad. That's your favorite character. And paying for like 10 minutes of screen time in 3 seasons. Oi.
She's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Tilly will earn sport jump. Yeah, I think she might. I think
now it's going to be Detmer as well, maybe.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Ooh, you're just a specialist, Stamets. Yeah.
I will fight for that role, she'll be saying, yeah. That's interesting, yeah. And then you've got an awkward moment. Nope, well, almost. But they get caught really quickly.
Well, no, the levels start dropping.
Yes.
And they need to get her out. And just as that happens, yeah, they come in and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But so they kind of explain what's going on. They accuse the guy of, what did they say exactly? You betrayed your oath. And anyway, she then gets sucked under.
Sorry. Sucked under in a pool that you can stand in?
Well, we don't know how shallow they are.
I thought we both didn't like that she gets pulled under an unknown depth.
I didn't like it.
Oh.
I didn't like it, but yeah, we don't know how deep they are. But still, yeah, it doesn't make sense because she can suffocate.
I mean, I argued earlier that maybe the symbiote can give her air, but then Burnham will drown. Like, it's a nonsensical. I mean, I guess you could say maybe the water is oxygen.
Well, it is. It's not necessarily water because it's got milky substance, so it could be like amniotic fluid. Like you can breathe it in and like actually. Which movie is it where they have a deep water suit that they put on, and instead of breathing air because it would get crushed, there's actually fluid that you breathe into your lungs, and like it's not going to feel good right away. Your natural instinct is going to be you're in trouble, but just breathe. Try to breathe normally with the fluid.
Guys, tell us what
so
it is.
if it's kind of like that, sure, cool, fine. It's a milky substance. Could be the case. Who knows?
Although, did the symbiotes pull her down? Because she was pulled.
I don't.
Like,
yeah, I know.
This is just like the dinner with Detmer going off the deep end. This is where it becomes fantasy. This happens. All it had to be was lightning's around her, and Burnham has to hold her hand and gets pulled in. The way they play it is look stupid, feel stupid. You lose all logical sense. It becomes like, I'm fine with the Mindscape being whatever the hell. It's in their brain. Who cares? It's a figment of their imagination. Like it's in their brain. But this does diminish. It just looks silly. I mean, it's well done effect, but it doesn't work in the Star Trek universe without explanation. It doesn't. It's not. It's a wrong decision, unfortunately. And obviously, people I know have said, why is Burnham going in? A, she shouldn't go in because she doesn't know what she's doing, and they wouldn't let her in it. But B, they don't know how much he knows this woman. So would you go in, someone doesn't know this person, or her friend go in and pull her out? So you can say either way. I think it's a 50-50.
Yep.
It should have been one line of, you should go in because you know her. But it's 50-50. But she had to be there because she's the main character. And she's been out of the show for like 10 minutes. That's it. That's why she's there.
Zerax says $5. I think it makes sense to divide pilot and helmsman based on whether you're doing maneuvering at impulse or at warp. So Detmer has done lots of piloting? ? Well, yeah, I could. Yeah, I would buy that. Sure, different differentiation there is impulse and warp. Sure.
And Mission to Mars, Darth Maul says. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yes,
I
possibly.
remember water being in that though, because Mission to Mars they find the Martians with the sand.
Yeah, it could be.
Or is it like a gel?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was underwater. It was like a thicker liquid that they had to breathe in because then it could. Anyway, I forget. Anyway. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. 205. Nice. Can we do 250? Hashtag make Fleet Paw pay. We have 239 here. So if you haven't hit like. We're at 207, which is great. So if we can get those up, that'd be good.
And it's great to see you all. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. I mean, I think we're being a pretty fair balance. There's so many scenes we're loving and so many moments we're not liking. Talk about fair and balanced, you know? And this episode on balance is good. But guys, we still need more super chats. Please do, as other guys have had some really great points. Put in your thoughts. We absolutely want to know what you're thinking. We need at least another $65 to kind of make it. Which is not, you know. If you gives fives, etc. Please help.
Yeah, it's the film The Abyss. That's what it is. I thought it was a newer film. I didn't think it was that old, but okay, there you go.
And two comments. Devereaux says she was the helmsman on the Shinjo. She was, but we never saw her piloting. Yes. So I mean, she could have been there one day for all we know. And also, it wasn't a very it was a very low end ship. So she was assigned a low end ship as a pilot, not exactly a big say she's a great pilot. And second, and I had considered this, but I appreciate you being say it in a good sentence. Tiburon says none of these, let's call them priest people, would go in because it's taboo for them. It's easier to stomach someone else committing a mortal sin than yourself, I guess. I could see that. Like, this is bad for us, but I don't want to do it. Ugh.
I just wish one of them would have gone in with Michael to kind of help walk them through what's going on.
Yeah. Because
when they were in there and Michael's like, those things are coming after you for a reason. I just felt it would have been better if the monk was there facilitating that, saying, you know, this is natural. Let's just go with it. But nice. Caleb Horn, $5. It's The Abyss. Thank you. Yes. And Scott Purdy, £2. They were pulled down by their burdens. It's a metaphor.
It's a bad metaphor. Like you still need some logic to it. You know, stuff doesn't just happen. Star Wars, it can just happen. That's called the Force. Star Trek, that's not how things work. I like that, but when the got pulled, Burnham said, "What happened?" It was the currents, or they control the water, or that's all you need. But in reality, it's a metaphor.
Or for him to say, "I have no idea," then it's like, "Oh shit, what happened?" Because you know,
also
maybe someone's never been in the pool before.
Exactly. Like they were surprised. Like there's a scene later where I love the visual metaphor. I love it. I saw it. I liked it. Great. And that works mostly. This one I don't think because like I said, they would drown. Like if it involves them dying, that's not a good metaphor, you know.
Anyway, we're in the upside down, whatever you want to call it, and we got the.
Oh, great visual of her coming down though. I loved that as a visual, and it's a good CGI her too. I thought that was a really nice art thing. But
she finds Adira, whatever her name is, and she's like, oh my God, if I stand still too long, these things like attack me. They come out of nowhere. What am I supposed to do? And this is where I'm like, a monk would be helpful in this case.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, but
yeah, while these scenes they look nice, like for green screen, I think they do a good job. Lighting's really good. The problem with the scenes that you know the answer instantly. Oh yeah, each of these orbs are the lives, and we're so far ahead of them. Them being confused seems daft. Like it doesn't quite play as well as they think. But like you said, this is where they're kind of padding time a bit. They're adding a few more moments they don't necessarily need. But yeah.
Caleb Horn, $5.
Boom.
Fun fact: the scene where the Navy SEAL puts the rat in the breathing fluid was real. The rat was breathing the liquid air substitute.
Ooh.
A little creepy. Really? They actually have liquid air? I thought that was very much a sci-fi trope. That'd be weird, man.
Gosh.
Just telling you.
I'm just going to quickly grab a glass of water because I am getting kind of thirsty. So I'm back in a second. Hopefully I don't want to see 225 likes. So help me out, guys.
He wants to see it. Yeah, a few of you have not hit like. If you could just hit like, that'd be awesome. I really appreciate it and it would help us out. So, did they show anyone in the pool at DS9? Yes, Jadzia got in and laid back like that as well. So, study has been done on it. It won't work. There you go. Cool. I did not know that. So yeah, 215 likes, guys. Come on, can we get another 10 likes? Or now we're down to 214. Somebody took away a like, and now it's back again. You can't hit like more than once. I wish you could, but you can't. Because if you hit it again, then it goes away. So, but yeah.
Hello.
Trent Collicutt, she was sucked down? No, she was blown down. Wait a minute. That's, yeah. If you get that Star Trek joke, you're.
Oh yeah, because I get the logic. So yeah, I like the artistry of this moment. Well, it's a bit, like I said, we were ahead of them in terms of audience, so it feels a bit like, well, yeah, obviously, okay, good, now we're gonna move forward. But it looks nice, like.
Ooh, that Junkman is here. Hi, Junkman. How's it going?
But yeah, I like the visuals. And yeah, I mean, this is certainly like it's even though it's long, it's still engaging storytelling, which is good. This whole next chunk, and the payoff is really good. So this is definitely a good segment. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's definitely good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because then we get the first flashback where you see Gray on the bed, and it's like he's excited to get the symbiote, and it's obvious that there's not like an emergency because we know that Senate Tal died in an accident, but here it's not like hurry, we gotta hurry, we gotta get this thing in you. It's like I knew this was coming. This is awesome. I'm so excited.
Yep.
So it's kind of odd. I think we still need that story explained to us, how exactly that happened. We hear they're on a generational ship as well. So was it near Earth at the time? Like, no. And later, I mean earlier, Adra, whatever the hell her name, Ardra, whatever her name is, says that she was found in an escape pod after she got the symbiote, and then she was, I guess, on Earth. Well, so something happened that she got ejected.
Well, she says, the ship found me. Well, any context. As if they missed it, they'd cut out a scene. There's a slight disconnect there. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. But yeah, they're totally chill. Totally chill. And considering they don't need a person to do this, they're also, everyone's chill. It's like, oh yeah, we'll just let the doctors move an 800-year-old symbiote from a Trill to a Trill. That's all good. A real lack of care in terms of medical advances advanced enough. But they do say generational ship that is out looking for the Federation.
Yes.
That was the purpose, which is a very interesting. It's like, really?
Which would make sense. It's near Earth if it was heading to Earth to see if the Federation was still there. But I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Something sketchy going on.
Oh, I thought it was more like from Earth because she's human. I thought more from Earth, leaving Earth, trying to find them, and then they got picked up by another ship. But that's interesting. Like, the ship could have been lost somewhere in the Beta Quadrant and then spent 50 years going back to Earth, thinking, well, once we get to Earth, we'll find out.
They're trying to find the Federation, not Starfleet specifically. So,
but we know that they're kind of using the word interchangeable. We think, kind of. But I mean, they say but that said, we don't know they're around Earth, and there's certainly a lack of context because, I think Tal dying is clearly a lie, misrecorded numbers. Because, Yeah, it's very confusing,
You
but
know.
I like it. It feels like a mystery that's actually part of the story, as opposed to a plot hole they've not done, which is how other seasons felt. So good for them. Go for it. What do you want to read?
Snoopy McQueen throws in $5 with a little
Thank you.
dancing pear. So thank you very
We
much,
love the
Snoopy.
pairs, and every
And
five ducks is great. Jesus.
and Kristen Montgomery puts in $5. Discoveries needs biogel gel packs with tardigrade DNA to navigate the mycelial network. There you go. That's cool. I'll be down with that.
That's great. I like that. Although Jason
So
says about they don't have things, duration ships don't have shields for asteroids. Yeah, but there's a bigger story. They were attacked. Like, it wasn't like, I know it's played like a asteroid, but
yeah,
and kind of one last thing about this shot. I like how the robot, the flying things, look like the weapon pod thing from TNG.
Yeah.
I just it's a good. I know it's not obviously a callback, but I like it.
Yeah. So we find out here that that was actually her boyfriend, Gray, that was getting and he was so excited, and Burnham's like, "Why aren't you excited?" Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
They were both orphans, but they had each other, and she really loved him. And yeah, so why aren't you excited? I don't know. And it kind of forces her to continue the thought, to learn what happened. So,
and the sense is that you can only be in this state for so long, and you have no other choice. You either die in this pool or you learn. I do quite like the acting here, although I keep cutting between the memories to this. It just makes Michael Burnham feel like she has to be in the scenes, because you honestly forget she's in the episode between them because she's so unimportant, which is good actually. Like, she's only important because she's there. Like, I will not give her Mary Sue in this episode because she's there. She's just, anybody could support her through this.
mm-hmm.
It's not Michael Burnham especially. She's none of her special skills at all, which is great. She's just because she's there. But I think it's too many chip and changing. It's just, yeah.
Then we get the cello, which you're wondering what that was in the reflection. It's the cello that he's holding, and the whole, I'm still me. Actually, I'm more me now than I was before. And she's like, you're kind of perfect. And he's like, I already was perfect. That's why you love me. It's such a cute, nice scene. The interaction between these two.
Yeah.
I think it was really well done, actually. So.
I forgot how much, because again I watched the DS9 TNG episode after this. I forgot how much symbiote can fully take over. In TNG, it is 100% symbiont. You mentioned earlier with Dax and stuff, they have training, but you never met them beforehand, so you have no idea how much is and isn't. But you get the sense Jadzia first, symbiont second, but we have no way to prove that. In this, it's so obvious this person is no longer Grey. To me, anyway, it's like 80% lost. It feels like it, So I do think he's lost, or she's lost him. And I wish he was more honest about that. It's like, well, I'm not really him anymore. I'm now Grey, and the second name of the Dax. I can't remember the name of the symbiont, but I wish there was a bit more of that, because you're not the same person, clearly. Yeah, although the only thing I say about the whole we love each other bit is that it's a bit feels not forced so much as she was 17, now she's 16. These are 16-year-olds, and they're playing it as if they're late 20s with experience in love. How many times do we meet somebody when we're 16, have our first love with them, and then move on? So it feels a little bit hollow. It's like they're playing it with all its worth, but they're too young for that to be really meaty. And it comes across that way. It's like 92% of people don't marry their 16-year-old sweetheart. So I just wish they were in their late 20s, a bit more adulty.
Yeah.
Especially this Grey person is so full on, but although that now has knowledge of all the symbionts, so obviously that person can now judge love more than he could 5 minutes ago. But so do you know what I mean? It's a bit too much, but obviously it works in the weirdness of the scenes and memory, etc. Because you could also argue it's going through the memory pattern, so she's seeing it with more love. You could do things with it. I think it's a little bit full on.
Yeah. When it comes to the gift that she made, she didn't replicate, and then she pulls herself out of the memory again, and Burnham's like, "You have to go back in there. It's important." And she's like, "You only care about the what you want. You're not here for."
Yeah.
Convince her that, you know, the future matters. Everything else matters. On this all hinges on this.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go in there and face it, no matter how painful it is. So she goes back into the vision, gives him the quilt, which is cool. It's got I wish instead of a apple, it was a banana. They broke the replicator, and all it would make is bananas. Would be hilarious and a nice tie into Lower Decks.
And we must fear the banana is a reference to Orville as well. Quick comment.
But yeah,
the Nathan, yes, that's from Schitt's Creek, the woman, and he says, yes, I've had like 100 sweethearts since I was 16. Lol.
Yeah, it's true. But at the time, it's always that's the one, you know. So
yeah. No, I like the quilt, and I like the fact the world is collapsing because you're running out of time. I kind of liked that, and it was a good pace, and the quilt's nice. Although I do wish there was a few more sci-fi things on it. As silly as that sounds, I kind of wish. And this was the astral nebula we both fire torpedoes at. You know, like when they mention replicator versus make it, like those things are cool. It's a juxtaposition. I wish there was a little bit more of that, but that's okay. But then they're short-lived happiness. And then this very odd. I mean, it is an asteroid, but it looks like a sheet. If you're watching, real time, it looks like a sheet's going over the window. But yeah, it's an asteroid. But yeah, it really goes to shit instantly.
And then he gets impaled with a shard of glass, and the robots come and they say that the symbiote's fine as long as it can be transplanted right away. But there's no helping him. Like really. Maybe if there was something sticking out of his head as well, I'd buy it. But
yeah, like a Riker gash as well.
No, like a Rachel Garrett gash.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so I like the fact they call out force fields working. That's a nice touch because you can have bad impacts. But yeah, I thought as a writer of a TV show, you can do anything you want. I didn't buy for a second that shard of glass was enough to kill him. Didn't buy it for a single second. Sorry, no.
Yeah.
Stupid, dumb, unearned, it could have been anything. And so this death does feel like we just need it for the plot.
Yes, absolutely.
I kind of wish, and we may see flashbacks, because there's obviously more. I hope the generalship is important. I hope we go back to this and see why, and maybe there's more to the story. And I was, I like the quilt being a mop for the blood and such, but it's just a really stupid way of going. It's not effective considering how good the rest of the episode is, and it would be no more expensive to have like plasma burns. Like, yeah, it's just weird.
Luke Celeste, $5. Fear of the hot banana.
Yeah.
So she's faced this memory. This is how she got the symbiote. Because she says, "Let me take the symbiote. Let me take all of that." And are you sure? And say yes.
And note, no one says humans can't do it. There's a certain disconnect.
Yeah, the droid. Yeah, the robot said it's no problem. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Prepare for surgery or whatever. It's like, thank you.
So good.
Inside manner. Yeah.
So there's again a slight disconnect of we just need it to happen. So it's never happened successfully. You'd think you'd at least warn the person. So that would have been kind of nice, saying, just to let you know, there's a 1 in 1 million chance of surviving this. She's like, I don't care. But it's also a flashback. Whatever. But it just seems a bit weird. It's like, yes, we'll put a living being into a being that can't let you live more than a day. I mean, I guess it's 1 day, but remember, it's never happened before, says the Trill on the planet. So you'd think the robots would know that.
But then we get a more calm place, and then all of a sudden these wisps start materializing, and they turn into the previous hosts, and there's 5 of them, and then Gray shows up from behind Admiral Senatel. So there's 6.
The one dayer.
Wow. Not very long, anyway.
And 2 nice notes here. I love the music in this scene. I think it's incredibly effective and pretty. Mm-hmm. I noticed this the second time, they're reflecting through an optical cube, like light on them. Like there's this, which is such a small effect. I really like it for some reason. I think it's very effective. And yeah,
it feels like they're underwater, kind of.
Which they are.
I know. It ties into the pool. Yeah.
And just the way these guys appear is so satisfying. This is an earned payoff, and this is the opposite to season 2 of Discovery, where the payoff ruins the setup. This improves the setup because you're like, even though it's long, it was worth it. And yes, we get random civilian man in like turtleneck, Okay. Full Picard era uniform, which tells us something pretty
Captain.
important. Captain. Lady in white. And Black Lady, who is in a Starfleet uniform. She's got the comm badge of the current day, the stripe of the potentially of the current day, but a different rank structure. So some other variant of the uniform. And then epically, this old man who just looks so friendly. Like such a grandpa, like a nice, friendly grandpa.
Yeah.
Which we have done an episode on. And yeah, Greg comes in. And yeah. And boy, this person's small compared to everyone else. Like, you realize how young this actor is, that, like, the smallest person on set, and like, I don't know how old they actually are, but they feel so young in this scene. It really, like, it's like, yeah, you guys are young. Shit.
Me, no other, throws in $10. I think
Thank you.
of Tilly's idea of using dark matter in the Spore universe, similar to moving an oil tanker over a coral reef and punching a hole and spilling oil over the corals. Damn.
Yeah, I like that.
That's dark.
Well, it is like dark matter. Yeah. Boom. No, I agree. Hope that goes nowhere. I like things I like if it's a throwaway comment. Like, they're thinking, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like, they're just bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
I think that's better. And then Burnham gets to talk. I do wish that Burnham talked to the Admiral more. This is your one chance to talk to him. Ask him some questions.
Yeah, but Burnham, I think, is affected by the whole "you're not here for me, you're here for your own interests." Because in a second, when they're out of the pool, and she says, the old lady, the old Trill says, "I'll be your mentor. You can, I'll take care of you." Burnham kind of looks at her like, "It's up to you. Like, I'm not going to force you to come with us and help us out." And that's when she says, "No, I think that I should continue my journey with Discovery."
Yeah, I could see that.
So I think she's brushed off that. That's not what's important in this moment. It's important for her and the symbiote to be with the past hosts.
I mean,
instead of jumping up, so where's Starfleet headquarters? You gotta tell me. It's like, whoa.
I mean, that is the entire point of them being here. But I think to deepen what you said, I think she's making the choice. I trust this character to after the fact tell us. So I'm just gonna support her as much as I can, so that she'll support us after. I'll take that risk, which might not pay off, but I'll take that chance. But it's such a nice, sweet scene. And he's like, all the hosts had to accept every symbiont and the same, but we accept you, even though we're human. The way he says it's beautiful, like, it's unusual, but he's fine with it. He's like, it's good. It's all good. It's all good, babe. It's all good.
Welcome to this circle.
The very small circle for a Trill. Only 6, now 7. That is a very... And we said, we're going to say in another video as well, we're sure the Trill came back into the pool and spent some holiday time, like a few hundred years in the pool, and, very underused. And definitely not 900 years working with Discovery era. Definitely that was a false a thing there. But yeah. And they sort of all vanish in an artistic fog. And wake up, they get released from the hold of the symbiotes in the bottom of the water and haven't drowned. Although obviously we're not given a context of how long it could have been. 10 seconds. We obviously don't know, but yeah, success.
Yeah, literally could have been 10 seconds.
Which I kind of would have liked. I'll be honest. I wish
Caleb...
it would have been nice. They'd said, "How did it go? How long were we? 1 minute." Oh, okay. That'd have been kind of nice actually, but that's fine.
Caleb Horn, $10.
Oh, thank you.
When you think about it, the Trill could be the best ally to help in restoring the Federation. With their collective knowledge, memory, they could help remind everyone what the Federation was and could be again. Absolutely.
That's what we said last week, but the fact clearly the symbionts and hosts are such a limiting force now, there are so few of them, that knowledge is not being shared, is not alive right now in an active way. So maybe part of the agreement at the end of seasons will give you some willing people to be hosts, and then that'll open up the memory pool, literally and figuratively. But, we assumed that, or it doesn't seem to be that much. But, yeah.
Well, there could still be Trills on ships that are fine.
Which would be great to
change
find.
bodies once or twice.
Yeah, and that'd be so fun to have like spore drive for different lost ships and then bring them home. That'd be so satisfying. Like we saved, 500,000 people. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
So speak your names. So we got Kashatal, Jovartal, Madalatal, Karatal, Senatal, Graytal, and Adiratal.
So that's one more than the
great.
people. That's one more.
No, there's 7.
Well, there was only 6.
6 past hosts plus the current one.
Okay, say the list again. Because there should be 4 before the old guy. Yeah, 4 names for the old guy.
Okay, Kashatal.
1.
Jovertal.
2.
Medelatal.
3.
Karatal.
And then the old guy.
Senatal.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
Raytal. And Adaratal.
Okay.
Should be 7.
Okay. Yeah, it's just, yeah. That was 1 too many. But yeah, and that was a nice moment.
Yeah.
And I like the fact the character now has to be totally different. Like, instantly that she stands up straight and is less confused. You know. I mean, she's now an adult, so, ostensibly. You know, she's actually quite good acting.
Yeah.
I like it.
They apologize to her, and they tell the Z guy, Guardian Z, that what he's done will impact generations. And, you know, it'd be my honor to mentor you. And to which Burnham's like, if you want. And he's like, no, I think I should stay with Discovery. And then the whole keep us apprised of your well-being. And perhaps someday when the Federation returns, we will discuss a different joining. And I thought, Michael Burnham to a Trill? What? And then when she said it would be an honor, and the way she said it's like, oh, to join the Federation when the Federation gets restored. Gotcha. It was just really weird.
Yeah.
That delivery. But
that's that optimism that we need.
Yeah.
It's good. It's like, yep, good. I like it. Good. And the fact that really that was super easy, barely an inconvenience, but it shows that they never stopped believing in the Federation. They just kind of went away. Nobody resents them. Yeah. That message is so important, and it means that they can easily relight the fire. You just need to either undo the burn, find more dilithium, you know, repower the ships, get these things flying, and then we can have what we had again, and that's great. You know, I give them all credit for that. You can make an apocalypse if you don't make it a dark one. You know, that's why I always said I had pitched this to you ages ago, losing warp, because it doesn't mean it's an apocalypse without actually being a negative one in the context of, you know, war, etc. It's a very simple one. And yeah, back on the ship, Saru is dwelling till he comes in.
I love how he says Pike made it just look so easy.
Yeah.
Connecting with the crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tilly's like, don't worry about this dinner. This is like a Tuesday at my house growing up. So I mean, anyway, she says that he's a good captain, a good leader for the way he tried to bring everybody together like that, and he appreciates that. He says thank you, because that's good leadership. And then Stamets comes in and apologizes to Tilly and says, you know, you've been by my side on this ship, you've helped me. And then she's like, I know. And he goes, no, but I never told you, so I'm telling you. Sorry that I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Great moment.
And I like his acting, because, like I say, he's a bit of an arse, so this takes a lot for him to do it.
Yeah.
But they had to have basically an implosion to come back, and it isn't about. He doesn't literally mean you were the genius that helped me solve everything. It's that you were the person who supported me and worked with me on everything. It's not like I was the genius that did everything and you helped me, but we did it as a team, and it's hard to see where that line is. So I should not devalue you now, because I will not be where I am, not genius factor, but like we were so intertwined with this technology at a certain point. And then he does say, well, tell me about dark matter, and she's like, no, I did the math, it doesn't work. And he says, basically, it doesn't matter, let's still talk about it, saying it was a dead end, but that might lead us somewhere else. I like that little that was a nice wrap up to that little bit. Satisfying.
Yeah.
And it felt earned. And that doesn't happen all the time. It was good. And now with the visual metaphor that I really liked, the fact that Detmer is coming out of the dark and meeting Culber in the light.
Ah.
Like, it doesn't make sense for the corridor not to be lit. That's silly. But I like the visual language there. It's so clear and it's so effective. It's almost over the head, but it's nice. It's simple. It's good.
Yeah, she admits she has a problem and says that was difficult for her, and he's like, for anyone, pilots are macho. Yeah, I know. um, and then I'd like to talk sometime. He's like, all right, no problem. And then the computer says, all available crew, please report to the shuttle bay for a surprise. It's like,
I was wonderfully perplexed and confused by that. I was like, what is that? What a computer? Do you have to? Is that a programmed phrase, or was that like, can you please tell the crew a surprise? It's funny.
I love this last part too. This is great. The huge hollow projectors in the shuttle bay with the shuttle bay door open still, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Watching the Buster Keaton movie. That's what I was being sarcastic, but you get a little Linus and Giorgio moment where he's handing her popcorn and she's like, yeah, okay, fine. It's like really kind of doing the couple thing with them.
It's interesting.
Stamets comes in.
Yeah,
Stamets comes in, gives Detmer a big hug. Like that usually does make things a lot better. So they're all healed up now, which is fine.
And that's their first scene together.
And then you get Culber.
One-on-one.
Exactly.
First scene ever. Yeah.
Now you get Culber and Saru, and Culber's... Well, actually, Saru's like, it fills the room. And Culber's like, Joy? No, you idiot. The show, the movie, the holograms. It's filling the whole... That's what I expected him to say.
I didn't know holo projectors could be that big. Have you seen our shuttle bay? It's massive. It's bigger than the Connie. And quick note before you jump further. This is most of the crew. I did a rough count. This is like 40-odd people, and there's 70 on the crew. This is most people. So we are seeing, and if these aren't extras using the corridor, this is basically everybody. And there's a Tellarite. I didn't know there was a Tellarite on board ship. There is a Tellarite Federation officer on board ship. Didn't know that. Mostly human, but yeah, most of the crew is here. Oh no, it's Orville. I was thinking, why didn't they put the chairs out like that time they had the orchestra? But that was the Orville. Couldn't they replicate chairs? Like, do they really have to be standing?
Yeah.
But it's most of the crew.
Yeah, then the whole fills the room. Joy, yes, because Joy's, Anyway, we're not quite where we need to be, but we're getting there. And this was a good first step. You pushed us closer. I got to say, this was a pretty good idea. He says, good choice, Captain. He goes, no, I wish I could take credit, Doctor. This wasn't you? No, it was the sphere data. I have a theory. We took care of it. It's now taking care of us. That's great. I'm looking forward to seeing this ship develop. I hope it's not, boom, it's super intelligent right off the hop. I hope it's having problems interfacing, and that's why it needs that time. But yeah, I think this is great.
But it definitely a bit rushed. It's only episode 4 with 0 episode of build up.
Yeah.
But that's okay. And a couple of comments. Lol, who are you? We've had no interaction before this episode. Shut the doors, obviously. I was saying no one can travel at warp now, just shortage of lithium. No, it's just a shortage. And I saw asked where the Tellarite is. Let's see if you had a screen cap. But yeah, I like this. I think these two as a pair are good. Because Saru gets to be captainy, and the Doctor gets to be more freeform and gets to kind of say his mind. But they both mean well. And that's important. Because Stamets is a dick. Tilly is a bit hot-headed. And bridge crew, who cares? But Stamets, Saru, the Doctor, and now Burnham, seemingly, they all mean the best. Like, they're all aiming for the best in every scene. So that feels good. And the Tellarite, for everyone who's interested, is here. This guy. Well, I'm circling him, but he was actually in sickbay a minute ago. He's one of the dreadlocks. He actually walked out of sickbay like in the last scene. I was like, why is that alien with dreadlocks? But yeah, it's hard to tell, but it is a Tellarite. There's other slightly clearer shots. But yeah.
Yes.
And then we get the final scene, which starts good, ends weird.
Yeah, basically we got the coordinates for the Starfleet. Hands them to Burnham, and she starts playing the cello, and Burnham's like, that's really beautiful. I think it's a lullaby. I think it was Senatal's parents that used to play it for him when he was a kid. All the memories are starting to come to me.
Well, I wish it said Senate's memories, because it's not Senate Tal's memories, it's Senate's memories. Tal is after the fact. It was Senate's childhood memories. Like, you wouldn't say Jadzia Dax's memories if it was Jadzia's memories. Dax is a symbiote. Slight, whatever there. I like Burnham's face. Clearly, these like I'm really hoping they'll say Delta Quadrant. Really, like I'm hoping these are far away. Because her face is like, are you serious? Like either they're right next to Earth in a secret place, or they're really far away and it'll be a while to get there. I hope it's one of those two. Yeah.
And Me No Other says they do have 88 people on board. Well, they did. Some of them are wounded. We don't know if they made it. There's been no clarification. So we'll assume 80. We'll go for 80. It's good enough.
Between 75 and 88, depending how many of those people died, because one did die like instantly for some reason. But then we have the turn, and we see the Force Ghost. Basically, I mean, as close as you can get. And this was definitely a surprise to me.
Insulting her Boeing.
Yes. I did not expect this. I was thrown, like, this was like, where? In my head, anyway.
You got to wonder, how many times has a Trill that's been in a relationship had the symbiote pass to the other person in the relationship? I mean, that's got to be something that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, zero, I'd assume, honestly.
Yeah. Because they try to get rid of those past connections.
Well, and since it can only be Trill, and Trill, like there's so few symbiotes, and then I guess that must move. If only Trill takes symbionts and Trill's not to marry Trills, but yeah, you wouldn't marry a symbiont person. Except Jadzia did marry Worf, so I mean you can do it. You just sort of abandon it once they die.
Yeah.
I know people complained about this. It's like, why is there a person? But like S3E and Jadzia did this. They just had a ceremony, but like you said, I think the connection between them is much stronger. But this is not healthy. Like seeing your ex-boyfriend, because Burnham asked how long were you together, and it's like if you were 16, I don't think you would go when you were 13 or 12, and even if you were, like that's not really, you know what I mean? That's such a young relationship. It's barely, you haven't even got the mental awareness to be that yet, necessarily. So hopefully this person will stop being a Force Ghost at some point. Like, you have to move on. You can't live like this. This has got to be more of a, I'll help you on your journey. I'll be part of you symbolically. But I can't see this being all the time. I would have preferred if they had to dip into the memories occasionally. Like, I need to talk to my past. Okay, now I've got them, but I don't want to see Force Ghost every week. But then again, what are we going to do with this character otherwise? This might be the entire arc. Is like, look, you see your dead boyfriend that you were with for a year. It's just a weird ending. Unless it never comes back and it's more just like you've got this, voice, but just a bit weird. It is sweet, but also you need to let them go. Like you need to live your life. They are dead. They're part of you. You need to move forward. Like that's the only way. I mean, come on. How many people do the symbionts love, and let go? Dozens. This is no one else. So it takes time, but I'd not expect this character to be out of the show at some point because it's just not relevant. Yeah.
And then we get a beautiful shot of Discovery at the flyby,
and the music.
And again, the nacelles do not look. Yeah, and the nacelles do not look too long. They look perfect.
They cheated
good job.
Well.
And the spikes are back. The spikes are back. The spikes are fixed.
We did see them repair the ship 2 episodes in a row, Stuart. So hey, we did see it.
I'm just glad that we're getting nice flybys of the ships because that was one of their biggest complaints from season 1. So
I like that you can see the reverse of the TV in the back of the shuttle bay. Like for what it's worth, that I appreciate. You still see the TV in the shuttle bay. I did like the music in this episode was good. I thought it was a beautiful way to end on, and the next time on is brilliant. So yeah, it was a nice way to end, for sure in terms of music and visual, and definitely a certain payoff.
Yeah, Joshua Clark, $5. Saru and Dr. Culber scenes gave a Kirk and Bones vibe to me.
Ooh,
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
Luke Celeste, I guess they are trying to mimic the Kirk McCoy Spock trio. They tried that in TNG when they brought in Pulaski, and it failed miserably.
But that's not. I mean, that's not. Considering Burnham is nicer now. Yeah, good work. Good work.
Dennis Williams, $10.
Ooh, thank you.
Do you think the way the human mind interacts with the symbiote may be different, and
Yes.
that it allows her to talk with past hosts like an avatar instead of just having memories? Could be. It could be a perfectly good explanation for that. Yeah.
I would rather it's unstable, because we've seen Trill. Not only can you summon with a single ritual X hosts to chat to as a hallucination, but you can also transfer their essence into another human. That's pretty magical. Yep. Like, that's pretty special. So, yeah, it's totally in canon. It just shouldn't be like overused, because it's like, yes, move on. Yeah. Yeah.
Area 51, $5. I'm guessing no one can reach the rope to pull down the shuttle bay door. Yeah, that's the reason. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Closing
so,
scores.
Guys, this is your time to put in. Yep, put in your closing scores. If you super chat them, I'll read them out when we're done here. And if you just put in the regular chat, Samuel will read them out. But if we get another, I don't know, like $50 would be great.
Yep. So 10 of you, put in 5 with your comment. We'll read them all out. 50 would be good. We'll get us there. And 12 more likes. Let's be conservative. 12, but I really want 32. Yeah. But I'll say 12. And do put on scores. I want both your out of 10 for this season and out of 10 for Discovery. Because I think we can now start to, I think let's stay positive with this. But like I say, yeah, 10 5s, put in your thoughts. We want to hear. So Stuart, then, final thoughts, and have you...
Well,
okay. I take it back.
I was going to say, Joshua Clark threw in $5. I don't care what anyone says. The Discovery is a gorgeous starship. It's getting better, yeah.
Happy you think so.
Anyway.
Definitely in my lowest 5. Mostly because it doesn't fit into canon.
Everybody has an opinion. So,
like, I still know my TOS version, like, when she fits. Like, it's not. It's just it's designed not to fit into canon. So obviously it looks wrong, and it's just too big. It's a broken design, but whatever.
Yeah. So my overall thoughts is not a bad episode. Felt very Star Trek. The Trill stuff was a little bit too drawn out for me. I wish it was a little bit shorter. Some really good scenes, character development, and some contrived, I think, drama between characters. The Detmer thing came out of nowhere, and I'm sure that's all we're going to hear about it. She's fine now that she got a hug.
And just to clarify, it makes sense that she might snap, but not what she said, or how she said it, or when she said it. She can snap, just not like we saw her do, is all.
Yeah. Some nice flybys, or a nice flyby at the end of Discovery. I did enjoy the sphere data stuff with the ship started. To do the movie night. I thought that was great. I wish they'd closed the door, but other than that,
it's broken. It must be broken. No, it's kaput.
And seeing some past hosts wearing Starfleet uniforms was great. We'll talk more about that. We have some videos that are coming out about that, so stay tuned for that, guys. Overall, though, I think it's just a better. Season 3 now is really doing heads and shoulders above season 1 as far as writing goes, and it's about time. Usually people say season 3 is when Star Trek shows hit their stride, but that seems to be the case here again as well. So that's good.
Second reboot,
so keep it up.
Second reboot's a charm.
So yeah, my score, I'm gonna have to give it a 4.
So okay, Discovery, sci-fi, enjoyment. We'll stop at episode 5. I think that's when we're going to know the story. So it's Discovery, all 3 seasons, general sci-fi, and enjoyment.
Discovery, it's a 7.5 out of 10. Sci-fi, 7 out of 10, I guess. It's kind of generic with the symbiote thing, I guess. And what's the other one?
Enjoyment. Just pure enjoyment.
Oh, maybe a 7.
Yeah, I was assuming less for that because he said other review was like, it's not as enjoyable to you personally. So that's pretty consistent anyway. And guys, let's see what our numbers look like. We are $26 away from a groundbreaking number and 7 in likes. So there are the objectives. What did I say? 26 and 17. So yeah, my thoughts. It's pretty good. I think the fact the overall bar has increased so much from season 1 and season 2 means you can now enjoy them without them having to be amazing, which is nice. You know, it's like even the weakest Mandalorian or Lodex episodes are still good. Not best thing ever, but they are still good. This one is definitely a good progression to the story. I like the episodic. I like the serialized. I like Burnham a lot more. Grey is okay. We'll obviously see more. I like the other character. I can't remember her name yet, but I like her. She's pretty good. Sarah's good. Unfortunately, as a captain, just a good captain, you kind of lose a lot of personality because you're just a good captain. You know, they're meant to be stoic and good at their job, but it fits better. Stamets annoying, but justifiably so. The Doctor was excellent. Really shout out to him. I liked it as a longer episode again. I was expecting a shorter one. Good for them for making it longer. Even though moments are too long in some places, I'd rather have too long with moments you can still look at and analyze and appreciate, but still with their editing flaws, rather than too short. You've done disservice to the characters. So I'd rather this around. And it got successfully, unlike last year where the episode itself was a stepping stone, and then the next time on got excited and it let us down with not being a good payoff. These ones are individually satisfying, with a next time on that's interesting. So it's achieving success on all the levels that the other seasons couldn't, especially season 1. And just the writing is better. The writing. And Burnham's better. So well done them. You know, it's still not the best Trek show, but it's still is currently a decent show. So good for them. You know? And they have everything to play for. And honestly, Stuart, I could see them playing this the long play. I could see them risking it and saying, we're gonna do 2 seasons of this arc. We're gonna take it so slow and chill, there'll be a 2-year arc. Go ballsy with it. Like, make it big and epic and have it be the story of rebuilding the Federation. That's a hell of a story, you know. And symbolic of we want to rebuild our reputation in the fan community by rebuilding Starfleet. How symbolic is that, you know, etc., etc. So my scores, I was on the same team with you, 7.5 for Discovery. It is, for them, top tier. But I think, it's higher in terms of, like, enjoyment, I'm going to say an 8 then. I think sci-fi, it's like a 6. It's like, it's fine. Like, if it isn't Star Trek, it's just a story of somebody who had it's very boring as just as generic sci-fi, but the Star Trek brings it, extra fun, like the story and stuff, like whatever. So yeah, 7.5 for each of us, which means it is currently your tied favourite and my second favourite. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Penny of scores. Final time goes.
SWTX Chaser, $10. My retcon, seeing the new Admiral's uniform. JJ Verse is Second Federation in the 3200s for the brewery engineering room.
That's a hell of a thing.
Pillowy Giant 69, 2 pounds. 7 out of 10 for the episode. Take care, both. Thank you, and have a good birthday, my friend.
Yes, please do. Please do.
Laughable Larry, $5.
Thank you.
Do you think it would be interesting if we saw a member of Saru's species in Starfleet soon, since it's 900 years later? Sure, why not?
You know what, though?
I think that'd be fun.
Larry, I think that would be actually great. I think seeing, as soon as they walk into Starfleet Command next time, they see an officer and Saru's like, oh my god. And they're like, oh, hello. Hello. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I hope it's his sister. Because everybody has to be related to everybody else, or not. Like, why is the Trill not Dax?
Oh, Saru, I time traveled to find you. What? Yeah, it was easy. I just flew around the sun. It was easy.
I took a potion. Like, I'm 900 years old. I was waiting for you.
But actually, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be a fun dynamic to see how does the first Kelpian in Starfleet. Because then that guy would be like, "Oh, are you Saru, the first Kelpian in Starfleet, who abandoned our planet?" That, I think that should be really good. I would be satisfied by that. And see a different take on it. Especially a lady to have that dynamic. Hey, yeah, we go. Give Saru a love interest. a Future Federation.
Mm.
Brilliant. Love it. That sounds actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
All for that.
Fleetpot Swiftback, $5.
Thank you.
8 out of 10 for both.
Okay.
One of the better episodes of the series for sure. Great character development for sure, but didn't enjoy the Detmer Stamets drama. I didn't either. That was the big sticky point for me.
Yeah.
Joshua Clark, $10.
Oof.
Saru as the captain is really growing on me. I think he is a great leader and the captain of this ship. Being in the Navy, I can recognize good leadership. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I think he's doing a fantastic job as captain. So,
and he definitely beats out Lorca, and Pike is different. That's the end of my sentence. But guys, we're $13 away. That's it, 13 right there, and 4 more likes right there. And I'll read the non-super chat likes, and hopefully we can get those $13 to round us out to a beautiful number, which would be really, really good. Helps out this month. And let's see what you guys think. So we both gave a 7.5. But I do think, though, this will be a season where we'll go in after the fact and we'll give it a rescored based on the whole season. I get the feeling this will be like we'll rejudge it as we go after the season's finished. This might be the best of the season. We don't know. You know. So we've got Sean, 4 out of 10. Ooh, okay. Joshua, 8.5. Medallion, 7. The Ambassador, 8. I finally saw it. That's my dad. Hey, Dad. 8 out of 10. So higher than us. Max Volume, 8. Lisa Jericho, 6. Daniel Flood, 8. Oh no, 6.5. Are you going to do a review on the trailer? Yes, we do have predictions. That'll be on Wednesday. Ian Alexander, aka Grays, 19. Okay. Looks younger than 19, but hey ho. Devereaux, 8. Happiness Gnome, 7.5. Nathan, 6. Lacerith, 6. Colin, 8. Excelsior, 8. Long and Boring, 4 out of 10. Oh, Sean. Ryan, 6. B Cluster, 8. It felt like real Star Trek. I would agree. Grid, 9. Aussie, 7.5 out of 10. Badgies. Oh, my goodness. George, 9.5. Raj, 8 or 9. Bajoran, 6. John Dool, 1. Just kidding. 5 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 8, 8.5. 7, 7.6. 4, 7. 8. So you know what? That's a pretty broad set, but I think on average we're about in the middle. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, nice. I like it.
Aeon throws in $2. 5 out of 10. Needed more Jet Reno. I agree. And Joshua Clark throws in $20.
Oh,
says here you go, which is awesome.
You got us right over that. Right over that thing. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. We really love you joining us in, and do tune in tomorrow for our Reveal It, the full uniform breakdown, which I really enjoyed filming. I really like the graphics. Please do tune in for that, and do go back and watch our other review if you want. Check out today, Sunday be a video, Monday be a video, etc. Lots to talk about, and tune in for Mandalorian Monday on Monday. No shit, and Mandalorian first prediction review live Sunday. Stuart will work out a better title soon.
It's not a prediction; it's a review. First reaction, but yes,
it's true. I was wrong.
It's okay. Anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a good weekend, everybody.
Yes.